The youth of the Raiders has become a hot topic, wide open for discussion.
Myers hauls it in. Touchdown, Raiders.
With number 2, the one leading the group to greatness.
Louis Murphy completely uncovered. Touchdown, Raiders.
I feel the sky's the limit. You know, it's kind of the same attitude I took at Florida. It's going to be the same attitude I take here.
The third head of the monster, Michael Bush, will get the start.
Michael Bush, a big hole through the right side, 35, 40, breaks through, he's gone! 40, only Rondé Barber can stop him, 20, 10, 5, Michael Bush is in the end zone!
Camp is now over, and the regular season is on the horizon. Every play and every moment matters as the team fine-tunes and finalizes the roster. It's game 3 of the preseason. It's Raiders football. Welcome to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum as the Raiders get set to take on the New Orleans Saints in the always important third preseason game of this 50th season of Raiders football. Hello everyone, I'm JT the Brick. The Raiders broke training camp earlier in the week with their best and most focused week of practice, and it couldn't have come at a more better time because the New Orleans Saints are in town with one of the most potent offensive attacks in all of football. This will be a big test for the Raider defense. On the offensive side, Jamarcus Russell leads the Silver and Black at quarterback. He's going to look to get that chemistry going again with the young wide receivers, and the Raider ground attack will be led by that offensive line that's looking to open up some big holes today. For more on this, let's toss it up to the voice of the Silver and Black. Here's Greg Papa.
All right, JT, thank you. I am flanked by Raider greatness. We have Jim Plunkett on one side and Tom Flores on the other. And I'll start with the former head coach of the Raiders and won a couple of Super Bowls as the head coach, Tom Flores. And this is the third week of preseason, Tom, and throughout the entire league, this is the one that is most like a real NFL game. In fact, the Raider coaches treated the week of preparation like this was a real game. They actually have a game plan for the New Orleans Saints. So I ask you, is it really like a real game today?
Well, it's going to be like a real game to a certain extent because they're still going to take out some of the veterans in the second half, some of the starters, but the first team's going to play the entire first half and probably into the second half to get a feeling of coming out of the locker room and started. They're going to have their red zone package, their short yardage package, all the nickel packages, all the packages will be there in place, not extensively in place, but in place to a certain degree. So they're still going to hold back a little bit, but it will be treated like a regular routine of a real game.
And on Thursday up in Seattle, the starters will play like one series and they'll be gone. So this is our last real good chance to evaluate Jamarcus Russell in the preseason. We bring in the former number 1 pick in the NFL draft and also a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Raiders, Jim Plunkett. And we opened our broadcast back 2 weeks ago against Dallas talking about how Jamarcus finished last year very well with a home win here against Houston, then on the road against Tampa. And his numbers this preseason, Plunk, look pretty good. What are your impressions of Jamarcus so far in the month of August?
Well, I think the focus still remains on Jamarcus to be that quarterback that the Raiders think he can be. He did finish the season strong last year. 2 good outings, both against Dallas and San Francisco. And one of the things I was most impressed last week against San Francisco was that 3rd and long situation where he found Louis Murphy in the corner of the end zone with a good pass. He read the field perfectly. And that's the kind of progress they want to see from Jamarcus. And if he continues to do that, he's going to play a lot more tonight, make some good decisions, lead this team to some crucial first downs and touchdowns. You know, I think he'll be right where they want him to be at the start of this season.
And he had a great practice, the last night practice up in Napa on Wednesday. He was spot on, and Darius Hayward-Bay was lights out. He also came back both guys did, with a great Thursday morning practice. So they are ready to go. Jamarcus will start. Darius Hayward-Bay will start. Louis Murphy will start. Michael Bush will start. We're going to see a lot of the young stars in silver and black on display today against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. We'll kick it off from Oakland when we come back on the Raiders Television Network.
And welcome back to the Oakland Coliseum and an afternoon of Oakland Raiders preseason football. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the booth, JT the Brick, and George Atkinson downstairs.
Elected to receive
Saints will get the football first as we hear Don Carey, who is the brother of Mike Carey. He's now an NFL referee himself this year. As we take a look at our Wiener Schnitzel winning ways. Plunk, of course, the Raiders had a hard time stopping the run last Saturday over at Candlestick. The Niners 275 yards on 47 carries, so the Raiders want to stop the run, and they want their young backs to get going. We are going to see Michael Bush start, but we're going to see Darren McFadden later, so we're going to see a lot of McBush from Tom Cable today. And it is time for Darius Hayward-Bay to get involved in the passing game. As we noted earlier, he had a terrific practice on Wednesday night. The Raiders' last evening practice up in Napa made a couple of great catches. Lewis Murphy has looked good throughout, and Darius Hayward-Bay followed up that Wednesday evening practice with a terrific practice as well on Thursday morning. And this young guy is getting better and better as he goes. Zach Miller, of course, gives the Raiders a great tight end. Tom, we were all very impressed with the work of Brandon Myers, the rookie out of Iowa. He had a great game last Saturday against the Niners.
Well, the one thing about Brandon Myers is they drafted him, I think, mostly because of his blocking ability, but to have him as good a receiver as he showed last Saturday night, that's a tremendous plus.
88 degrees is our game time temperature. Humidity not bad, but it's a warm one today. Sebastian Janikowski will kick off. Our opening kickoff is brought to you by International Trucks. They are miles ahead. Visit them today at internationaltruck.com. Robert Meacham, the young flyer out of Tennessee, has dropped back deep for the New Orleans Saints. Janikowski with 22 touchbacks on the season. A year ago to tied for the lead in the National Football League. The Saints have won their first 2 preseason games. The Raiders are 1-1, and we're underway on a warm one. The ball's going to carry today for Janikowski, and he puts it right through the end zone for a touchback. Good day to kick today, huh?
Oh, wonderful day, yeah. Breeze, very light breeze, but it's going to be a great day for everything.
Speaking of Breeze, Tom, there is Drew Brees, just a 6-footer, but man, did he have a year last year. He became the second quarterback in the history of the NFL to throw for over 5,000 yards. Dan Marino's all-time record, he missed by 15 yards. He threw for 5,069 yards. Of course, Rich Gannon almost had a 5,000-yard year in 2002. An end around here to Devery Henderson. He's very clever with the ball fakes. And Henderson picks up 5 yards, dropped by Nnamdi Asomugha. Here's the Saints starting offensive line. Jamal Brown is out with a sports hernia, so Jermon Bushrod will start at left tackle. Carl Nix at left guard. Jonathan Goodwin at center. Gary Evans at right guard, and John Stinchcomb at right tackle. No Reggie Bush today, no Pierre Thomas, so Mike Bell, the former Bronco and Texan, will be their lead back. And Drew Brees, the trigger man, with Devery Henderson and Marcus Colston and Jeremy Shockey. They can throw the ball, which they'll do on second down. It's caught. That is Shockey with a first down out to the 45-yard line. A 21-yard gain. Brees to the 5-time Pro Bowler when he was a member of the Giants, Jeremy Shockey. Raiders defensive front today. Trevor Scott and Greg Ellis are the ends. Tommy Kelly and Gerard Warren are the D tackles. No Kirk Morrison today. He dislocated his elbow last week at Candlestick, so Ricky Brown will start, flanked by Alston and Howard. Nnamdi Asomugha, Chris Johnson, the corners. Tyvon Branch, a big assignment today. He is asked to cover Jeremy Shockey. Here's a throw over the middle and a catch to Lance Moore. His first preseason action. Lance Moore was out with a torn labrum and a dislocated left shoulder, lifting weights, getting ready for the season to begin. Tough assignment for Tyvon Branch today, Plunk. He's got to stay in the box, try to shut down the run, but at strong safety in this man coverage, he has to match up with guys like Jeremy Shockey all day.
He does. He certainly does. But that's one of the reasons why they gave him that job. And it's his job to lose, to be able to cover those guys. DeBro Wilson, who was one of the leaders in tackles a year ago, just could not be a cover guy where they feel Branch can be.
That is Mike Bell, the former Denver Bronco, on the cutback run, something he's very adept at, but he's not used to cutting on dirt. This is the dirt baseball infield. Of course, the Raiders also share this stadium with the American League's Oakland A's, and right in the middle of the field from the 20 to 20, it is pure dirt, and Mike Bell on that cutback just slipped, lost his footing, and on that second down and 1, he was going to run for a first down and more. He will get the first down, but that is all, Coach, before Nnamdi Asomugha covers him up.
Yeah, the running game right now, and especially when you're in a cutback team, that was a cutback run designed to go off the left tackle and cut back over the middle. He tried to cut back over the middle where the gap was and slipped.
First and 10, New Orleans on the Raider 44-yard line. Heath Evans, the fullback, former New England Patriot. Brees has time, throws middle, and it's a catch inside the Raider 40. That is Lance Moore, who they're going to try to get a little workout in. Again, he did not play in their first 2 preseason games, but he led them in receptions a year ago with 79 catches and 10 touchdowns. He likes to work the slot.
Well, you know, one of the things about the Saints, though, as prolific as they are, especially throwing the football, as you mentioned, with Brees getting over 5,000 yards last year, 3 straight 3,000-yard seasons for Brees, but their record still is only 25-23. You'd think it'd be a lot better.
Trevor Scott nearly jumped off sides, but he got back onside. Brees will throw behind Shockey, but he made the catch on Ricky Brown's coverage on the seam route there. Now, is Brees that good, Tom, where he threw the ball purposely back shoulder there? And it looked like the coverage was on the inside, and the back shoulder throw actually worked to Shockey.
Well, I don't think he tried to do that on purpose. I think he looked at Shockey going down the middle, saw that he had that he was covered from the inside on Ricky Brown, and couldn't throw it to the inside because that's where Brown was. He would have been involved in the play. So knowing that Shockey can make that adjustment, that's where he threw it.
Saints only had to give up a second round and a 5th round pick this year to get Shockey. Mike Bell takes it inside the 10, and he bangs down to the Raider 9-yard line. Jeremy Shockey, a New York Giant for 6 years, made 4 Pro Bowls there, fell out of favor during their Super Bowl year, and they traded him for a 2nd and a 5th. Last year, as Sandy was down to injury at a sports hernia, his numbers weren't great, 50 catches in total, but he looks like he is ready to have a breakout year. And of course, Drew Brees knows how to use the tight end. He had a young Antonio Gates in San Diego. 2nd and 4. Saints on the Raider 8-yard line. Lone back is Bell, 3 receivers, hand off to Bell off the right side. Chris Johnson, Ricky Brown, able to drop him, but Bell, who was a load, he is a physical downhill runner. He has lost some weight. Broncos tried to make him a fullback, coach. He's down to about 220, but he's got some power in those legs.
Yeah, he's got some power last week, having reeled off a 46-yard touchdown, so he must have some speed to go along with that power.
Yeah, against the Texans last week, he had a breakout game, 10 carries for 100 yards. This will be a 3rd down and 1. They are going to measure before we say it. Saints are going to be short here, but not by much, about a length of a football here. So what are you guys going to call? I got a coach, former quarterback, and I got a quarterback. What are you doing on 3rd and 1? What's Sean Payton going to call, Jim?
Well, I think, they're an exciting football team. Play action, would be my first guess. But they're also, know that the Raiders have had trouble running the stopping the run. And so, they might just as well hand off to Mike Bell.
Well, one problem the Saints had, and you mentioned all the great passing numbers that Brees has put up. They did go to the NFC title game his first year in New Orleans. They're not a good short yardage team. Let's see if they just try to do something they're not good at here. They go into a true eye. It's a Heath Evans on the lead play, and Bell gets airborne, and we'll see where they spot the ball. Raider fans think he stopped him. Ricky Brown dove there trying to knock him back, and it'll all be dependent on the spot, and I think he's got the first down.
Yeah, they got the first down. His forward momentum while he was up in the air, that's what they count. Doesn't matter if you knock him back after that. It's where the ball was when he got hit and pushed back.
Well, Mike Bell dives for it. It is 1st down and goal now for the New Orleans Saints, and they were a very poor short yardage team a year ago, especially on 4th down and goal. They were just 6 of 12 on 4th and shorts a year ago, but they are clever inside the red zone here, and that's a touchdown to the fullback Heath Evans. Drew Brees is so clever with the ball handling, and he slipped it there to Heath Evans, the former Seahawk and Dolphin and a 4-year New England Patriot. And the New Orleans Saints take the opening kick and go 80 yards down the field in 10 plays to get the game's first touchdown.
That was almost too easy there. That was just a simple handoff, cutting back to the left side, right side of the defensive line. My question is, where's the defensive tackle and where's the defensive end?
John Carney, the 45-year-old kicker, longtime San Diego Charger, is in for the extra point. He had a great year last year as a New York Giant, made 35 of 38 field goals and scored 143 points, a career high. So the Raiders offense must match now. Ricky Brown on the defense couldn't stop them. Saints go 80 yards and score a game's first touchdown on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, George Blanda joined the Raiders at the tail end of his Hall of Fame career, NFLer with the Chicago Bears, a great AFLer with the Houston Oilers. How long did George play, Tom? He was about 40.
Well, he played. I think he was about 48 years old when he played. His last season was 75.
Yeah.
And so he was up there in years. I think he felt he could still play until he was about 60, I think. George is a great competitor.
Reason I bring it up, Justin Miller drops back to return this kickoff. He took 2 back in half a year as a Raider a year ago. Electrifying kickoff returner. John Carney is 45 years of age, but he's going to yield here to the younger man. Garrett Hartley is going to kick off. He's going to miss the first 4 games to begin the year as part of a suspension. We'll explain later. Here's Miller on the return across the 20, stops in the hole, tries to get out wide right, then is tripped up and dropped on the 25-yard line by the linebacker Marvin Mitchell. Jolon Dunbar was also there. 23-yard kickoff return by Miller. Raiders will start on their 25, and when we come back, we'll see Jamarcus and Darius Hayward-Bay and Murphy and Bush when we continue on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. The preseason 2 weekends ago against Dallas, he was 6 of 9 for 50 yards. Numbers even better last weekend, Jim, in San Francisco, threw a touchdown pass to Lewis Murphy. He's getting better, isn't he?
He certainly is, and one of the things to do right now is not to press too hard. You know, there's still a lot of game left, even though they're behind early in the game. Is just carry out your game plan.
Quick slant to Darius Hayward-Bay. He's got the catch and a first down. Big Tracy Porter there on the slant. Quick 3-step drop and a quick one to Hayward-Bay for a gain of 12 yards. Darius Hayward-Bay and Lewis Murphy will start. The offensive line is Mario Henderson, Robert Gallery, Samson Satelli, Cooper Carlisle, and Cornell Green from left tackle to right. Michael Bush will start. We'll see McFadden later. No, Justin Fargas, he has a hamstring injury. Oren O'Neal is the lead blocking fullback here. 1st and 10 Raiders, play action. Russell going to throw again. He's got time over the middle. Wide open is Zach Miller. And he's got a first down to the Saint 25-yard line. What a shot that was. A 36-yarder, coach, to the wide open tight end.
No hesitation at all on that one. That was a good play action. A little half a roll to the right side, off a play action to the left. And looking back, and Zach Miller had gone in motion and went right down the middle of the field. And you're right, wide open. There was no one around.
So a 12-yarder to Hayward-Bay on a quick slant. And then a big ball down the middle for 35 yards. 1st and 10 Raiders on the New Orleans 27-yard line. Miller goes in motion right to left. Russell going to throw again. 3 straight to open the game. Look out from behind. He got the ball knocked out. It's free on the dirt, and it is recovered by the New Orleans Saints. He did not see the pressure coming from the backside. Jonathan Vilma will recover it. It was Roman Harper, the free safety, who came on a blitz around the backside. Jimmy never saw it. As he cocked to throw, the ball was completely exposed for Harper to slap it out.
Now, sometimes you just have to get that feeling. There's Jamarcus looking down the field a little bit too long. Didn't realize the pressure was behind him, and unfortunately got the ball whacked out of him.
Saints will take it when we come back. 7-0 New Orleans on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Greg Papa, Jim Plunkett, Tom Flores up in the booth downstairs, JT the Brick, and the great George Atkinson.
Yes, guys, you know, the Raiders, the major concern last week was the stopping of the run against the 49ers. Talked to Coach John Marshall. One of the things he said he wanted from his players was for them to recognize early the running plays, to attack the running holes, and to play with a lot of intensity. Well, the first drive, I'm pretty sure he wasn't satisfied, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a better second drive defense against the New Orleans Saints offense. Back to you guys.
Tom Cable downstairs. He has John Marshall up in the coach's box. Drew Brees very clever with the ball handling again. They went empty set, and they motioned Bell as the lone back. They faked a toss to him coming left. Brees kept it and hit Shockey for a short one. A gain of just 4 yards there. 2nd and 6. New Orleans, quick drop, slant to Moore, spins on Chris Johnson. Johnson will grab the jersey, try to strip him of the ball from behind, and he's unable to do that, and Moore actually comes forward to pick up the first down. This New Orleans Saints offense, Tom, looks like a well-oiled machine as they were a year ago. This was the #1 ranked offense in all of pro football, and they're going into a no-huddle now. This is something they showed against the Raiders last year in the Superdome. Brees, after a rollout right, will throw back middle, and it's cut by Shockey, who's been a busy guy, and Shockey gets nothing on that. Back to the original line, John Alston on the tackle. When the Raiders were at the Superdome in mid-October, lost 34-3 a year ago, Tom, the Saints jumped into a no-huddle midway through that game and were very effective in it.
Yeah, they were, and they actually, that was about the 4th receiver, because Brees was looking down the field, at 2 or 3 of his wide receivers his back, and then there was no one there, so he just looked back, and there's Shockley standing on the line of scrimmage. That's why he fed him the ball.
He has not missed yet. 7 for 7 for Breeze. Inside handoff to Bell out of a shotgun formation. So the former Charger hands off to the former Bronco. Thomas Howard on the tackle of Mike Bell. Raiders are getting set for opening night against the San Diego Chargers. Breeze's former team will kick it off on September the 14th at 7:15. And be a part of Raider football. It's going to be a big year as we celebrate 50 years. This is the 50th season of Raiders football. 1-800-RAIDERS or Raiders.com to get your seats. 3rd down and 6. Breeze shotgun, a blitz coming. A screen coming back left to Bell. Gets a block and goes for the first down. He's dropped by Gerard Warren, the Raider defensive tackle, but not before he gets a first down to the Raider 41-yard line. Nice block there by John Stinchcomb, the Saints right tackle, who was the younger brother of Matt Stinchcomb, the former Raider offensive lineman, number 78.
You know, and this is the perfect fit for both Drew Brees and Sean Payton. Sean Payton found the quarterback can get the job done for him and the kind of offense he runs. And what's really amazing about Drew Brees is he's 6 foot, 209 pounds. You know, in an age where all the quarterbacks today are 6'3" or taller.
There's a handoff to Lionel Hamilton, Jim, who has come to the game for the first time. Again, Reggie Bush won't play. He has a calf injury. Pierre Thomas will not play. He has a sprained medial collateral ligament of his right knee, so Bell's the starter. And they have Lionel Hamilton, one of the backs who will work in behind. He is a first-year free agent running back out of San Diego State. Saints are trying to run the ball more effectively. If they could ever get a running game going to complement this passing game, I don't know if they could score many more points, Coach, because they score pretty readily, but they win some more games. Here they go into an empty set. 5 eligible on the line for Breeze. Throws, caught, knocked away by Asamoah. Incomplete. He was trying to go to the receiver, Lance Moore, and as soon as Moore had the ball touch his fingertips, impeccably timed there by Asamoah to break it up.
Yeah, nice timing by Nnamdi. He was playing the short guy on a zone, and the ball was thrown perfectly, but Nnamdi played it even better, and timing was good. No interference. Ball popped up in the air. That's what you like to see. It pop up in the air because that eventually leads to some interceptions.
Nnamdi Asamoah, the best cornerback in all of football, and finally broke through and made a Pro Bowl this year, and also the All-Pro. Raiders re-signed him to a 3-year deal in the offseason. Here's a 3rd down and 9. Breeze out of the gun on the Raider 40. Has time. Pressured. Steps up. And he throws deep downfield, wide open. Touchdown, Devery Henderson. A flag is down. A flag is down on the Raider 28-yard line. Devery Henderson got wide open. Breeze did not cross the line of scrimmage. He was close. And we'll see what the flag is for. It's an area of the field where the Raiders may have held.
Well, the way that the Saints are reacting, it's going to be a touchdown. Yeah, it's going to call it back. That's a defensive penalty in the defensive area where you get illegal chuck or holding.
Here's Don Carey, our referee.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 21. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
So Nnamdi Asamoah called for the illegal chuck here.
Yeah, it's way too much time, too, down the field. Actually, it was a chuck and then a hold. He grabbed the guy, but way too much time by Drew Brees. You give a guy like Drew Brees that kind of time, he's going to find somebody open. He could have actually run for the first down.
Nnamdi just grammed Lance Moore, but then Brees stepped up in the pocket, ran with his shoulders square towards the line, something Jeff Garcia is very adept at, and then found Henderson behind the coverage. Hiram Eugene is playing today. I don't think he started. Michael Huff started. Hiram Eugene playing with a pectoral strain. So the Saints drive right down the field twice, 80 yards and now 67 yards, and lead the Raiders 14-0 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Rod Woodson, an Oakland Raider in 2002 and also in 2003. And he went into the Hall of Fame earlier in the month, went into Canton, Ohio, becoming the 18th Raider to make Canton. Rod Woodson also lives in the area. He's going to coach some high school football out in Pleasanton, and we see him quite often. Justin Miller will drop back deep to return this kickoff of Garrett Hartley. Again, Hartley has found out this week he's going to be suspended by the NFL for the first 4 games for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances. Miller from the goal line, hit as he approached the 20-yard line. He got low bridge there by Pearson Prelo, and the Raiders will start across the 20-yard line when we come back. 4:18 to go in the first quarter. 14-0 Saints on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. What you guys doing up here in the booth? Nice and cool. We got a fan to our side, not the sun beating on our head. JT, 95 degrees down there. A little roasty today, huh?
Hey, Greg, I wish it was. It's over 100 on the field. Strength and conditioning coach Brad Roll, he anticipated this. All the players are hydrated, but the Raiders trail 14-0 early. This will be the hottest conditions they'll play in all year as they try to dig out of this hole. Back to you, Greg.
And Napa, you don't typically get 100-degree weather. The afternoon session was sometimes warm. The morning session very cool. So the Raiders are just not used to this hot weather, which is part of the reason they wanted to play this day game today. Michael Bush off the left side picks up only a couple before Kendrick Clancy makes the tackle for the Saints. As we check the Saints defense, our starting lineups today are brought to you by McDonald's. Greet the day with something delicious. It's easy with McDonald's breakfast menu. Price and participation may vary. The linebackers are Jonathan Vilma, flanked by Scott Fujita and Scott Shandley. Fujita from Cal, Jabari Greer, the former Buffalo Bill, along with Tracy Porter, the veteran Darren Sharper, the longtime Packer and Viking, with Roman Harper. A screen out right to Michael Bush, and Bush is dropped on the 25-yard line there by Roman Harper, the free safety who punched that ball out of the arms of Jamarcus on the previous series, the strip sack, which turned the ball over.
You know, it certainly looks to me, Pop and Tom, that, that Jamarcus looks very comfortable out there. He's making good decisions, getting rid of the ball, except for that one time when he did have the ball knocked loose from him. But sometimes you just have to sense those guys, and you've got to know that you are running out of time, and you do have to get rid of the ball.
First time he threw it, he had Darius Hayward-Bay on the slant for 13, and the big ball down the middle to Zach Miller. 3rd and 7 out of the shotgun. They're going to blitz him here. He's going deep ball down the right sideline, and it is intercepted and dropped. Usama Young came over, went up in the air, the free safety to intercept it, and they dropped it. A flag is down. Young is also hurt as he landed right up against the New Orleans sideline. He came down awkwardly, and he is hurt. The Raiders are going to send their punt team on. Here's Don Carey.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 79 was not on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, we don't have a 79.
Paul McQuiston, but I don't think he's in yet. Meanwhile, Usama Young is hurt. He is down on the field. This young man who was making the conversion from cornerback to safety read that well, came over to intercept it, and then he landed hard.
The correct number was number 74.
Yeah, Cornell Green. McQuiston's not in yet, so it's 74. They decline that and make the Raiders punt. Shane Lechler's not going to punt today. He has a groin injury. Here's Young. He's still down here, guys. Let's see what happened as he came over to intercept it on the double coverage of Darius Hayward-Bay, who he landed hard, didn't he?
Well, it's hard to tell when we watch the replay how he landed, but he did land hard. He had the ball in his hands for a while and landed hard without being hit.
Well, he landed on the ball. He hit the turf hard. Usama Young gingerly walking over to their bench. 3rd-year defensive back out of Kent State. A 3rd-round pick of the Saints in 07. So Lechler, he injured that groin injury just leading up to the Niner game. That's why he did not kick last Saturday, so he's not going to kick today. And Ricky Schmidt, the left-footed punter, is in. And it's a good punt. Lance Moore back inside the 20-yard line. An over-the-shoulder catch trying to go wide left. He caught it right numbers, and he's tripped up, could not get back. 55-yard punt by Schmidt, 3-yard return. Trevor Scott got down there for the Raiders. He was in on that tackle along with Tony Stewart. The defensive end and the tight end were in there. That punt was up 4 3/10 seconds, and a 55-yarder by Ricky Schmidt. So the Saints will take over on the 21-yard line. Yeah, it's a warm day. 95 degrees. We're just not used to this in the Bay Area with the cool breezes coming off San Francisco Bay. But for New Orleans, this is nothing. In fact, I was talking to Aaron Cromer, who's their offensive line coach. Remember Aaron? He used to be the Raiders coach back. He said, this is like our weather, only middle of the night.
Yeah.
This is nothing for us. Humidity's nothing. We can deal with this. So their bodies are much more prepared for this. Ricky Brown's going to blitz in the A-gap. Bryant gets through. He's got Drew Brees, and he sacks him. That is Desmond Bryant, who played superbly last week at Candlestick, and he has moved up in this deep tackle rotation, guys. This is the guy who was not drafted out of Harvard, who looks like he's a player now.
Well, and that's what you need on the defense. You need one of those tackles stepping up and making plays. He took an inside release and just beat the defensive guard. The offensive guard beat him badly and was in the backfield before anybody had a chance to block him.
And I think the Raider defense needs some of this positive reinforcement, making some big plays after the last 2 drives.
And they got to go get Breeze. Breeze has just it's been too easy with him throwing on time. Here's the inside handoff and a nice run back out across the 30-yard line by Lionel Hamilton, the 235-pound back. Tackle made by Michael Huff. That's a 16-yard pickup there. Huff did not play last week at Candlestick because of a rib injury. Also has a knee problem, but he's good to go. The Saints jump back into a no huddle, and they run for a first down off the left side. Hamilton rolls across the 40-yard line. Michael Huff will spill him. So they sack Breeze on first down. It was a huge loss there of 7 yards, setting up a 2nd and 17. They come right back at 15, and then quick snap the Raiders and pick up the first down.
Yeah, they're just outclassing the Raider defense right now. That offensive line coming off the ball and getting movement with the exception of Desmond Bryant's play. That other defensive line has not played very well at all.
90 seconds to go. Quick slant. Chris Johnson read that, almost got inside to pick it. Devery Henderson ran the slant, but Johnson had that very well defended. And Breeze actually throws a football that hits the ground today. A second incomplete of the game. He is 9 for 11. Tremendously accurate quarterback. He's a lot stylistically, Jim, like Rich Gannon was when Gannon was the Raider quarterback, isn't he?
I think you're absolutely right. He makes quick decisions, gets rid of the ball quickly, and usually, right on target, gives the receiver a chance to run with the ball after the catch. Very accurate.
2nd and 10 for New Orleans. On their own 41-yard line, up 14-0. They put Henderson in motion, straight drop by Breeze, a pump and go down the sideline. He overthrew Moore, and Moore did not fully extend there because Michael Huff came over and took it away. Nice coverage there by Michael Huff at deep safety, helping Nnamdi Asomugha there on the coverage of Lance Moore. It was slightly overthrown. Moore was going to stretch out time to catch it, and then Huff came over and took that stretch away.
Yeah, Michael took a nice angle. Had that ball been thrown inside a little bit more, he might have gotten a piece of it. But it was Nnamdi had gotten beat at the line of scrimmage. In fact, fortunately, he had help deep.
Saints have converted on their 4 previous third downs. 2 times they've had the ball, they've scored. Here's a 3rd down and 10 for Breeze. Throws over the middle, caught, first down. Henderson on the tight coverage of Michael Huff, and that is the accuracy of Drew Brees. Rolling out to get away from the rush, James, and then just a bullet in the one spot where Huff was not going to knock that away.
The Raiders are having a tough time putting pressure on Breeze with just a 4-man rush. He's having time to look down the field and find an open receiver, and it's hard to stay with those guys when the quarterback has time to throw.
Drew Brees, a 5-year San Diego Charger. Right when they drafted Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees had his best year in the league in 2004 before he went to New Orleans, obviously. Quick catch and throw, and a catch made there by Devery Henderson again. He has wide receivers all over the field. Colston, Henderson, Moore. He has Shockey. And the Raider crowd a little bit angered with the way the offense has moved down the field against their defense now. We'll see if the Raiders can rally here. The Saints do not have to run a play before the end of the quarter, but the way they're going, they're going to run one. 1st and 10 on the Raider 30-yard line. 6 seconds to go in the quarter, 5. They'll get the snap off in time, throw out right, and is caught by the back. Hamilton tackled by Thomas Howard, and that will be the quarter. All New Orleans, they went 80 yards, they went 67 yards, they have scored twice. And the Raiders, after 15 minutes, are down 14-0 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
1963, Al Davis got his opportunity to build the finest organization in sports. In his very first season, Davis led the Raiders to a 10-4 record, an accomplishment that earned him Coach of the Year honors.
Still the greatest turnaround in the history of the league. The Raiders won just 1 game in 1962, Tom. The very last game of the year against the Patriots. Came back and got Art Powell in the offseason, and the Raiders won 10 games. in 1963. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the booth, George Atkinson, JT the Brick downstairs. 2nd and 3, New Orleans on the Raider 23. A toss to Hamilton, a block by Stinchcomb, and he's got the first down. He was spilled. Nice tackle there by Tyvon Branch. We'll see where they spot it. I think he's got the first down. We shall see. Al Davis was the first of 5 Raiders that were named coaches of the year. Al was named in 63. John Roush, who took over for Al when Al left to become the commissioner of the AFL, won in 67.
Sam was going to the locker room,
a
guys.
couple of years later. Tom, you got one in 82.
Yeah, sure did.
Along with a couple of Super Bowls.
He has his jersey
and
off.
He has
his jersey off.
In 90 as well.
He's in the corner of the end zone. The Saints are.
See if Tyvon Branch made that tackle in time. He did not. It's a first down for the New Orleans Saints.
You know, Pop, Drew Brees has an amazing record as well. He's got 20 games in a row of 200 yards passing or more. And this number 2 behind that is 7 in a row.
By Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Who had a nice year last year with the Green Bay Packers. They go empty set here. 1st and 10, New Orleans on the Raider 20. Breeze over the middle. It is caught. First down all the way down to the Raider 5-yard line. Big wide receiver. That's Marcus Colston, who was 6'4", 2 1/4. Had some injuries last year. And he's a big target.
I don't know that they can complete this many passes in practice against the air. I mean, this is really an embarrassment right now for that Raider defense, who was planning on coming in here and playing quite well.
It was the run defense that was difficult last week against the Niners. His Saint team is just so well balanced offensively. Brees still has the ball back of the end zone. Touchdown. He gets Lance Moore on the coverage of Tyvon Branch. Great ball fake there by Drew Brees on the goal line. And he hits Moore, and the Saints are in the end zone again. This is a 78-yard drive, and they lead 20, going on 21-0. Great ball fake there.
Yeah, it certainly was. Drew Brees can do a lot of good things, and one of them is handling that football, keeping it away from the vision of the defense.
Well, the one thing that they're doing quite well, they're keeping the Raider defense off balance. They're just play action, a little run here, quick hitting play to the outside, throwing down the field. They're just spreading all over the place.
So the veteran John Carney is in for the point after. Carney, 11 years in San Diego, was in New Orleans for 6 before going to the Giants last year. Now he's back with New Orleans while Hartley faces this 4-game suspension. Drew Brees, he has been tough on the Raiders throughout his career. He has been superb today. 21-0 Saints on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Minutes and 7 seconds have not gone well for the Raiders, but there's a lot of football to go. And today's game, the sole premise is to simulate the start of the year. And there are going to be days when you're going to get down a couple touchdowns, maybe 3 early, Jim. But the Raiders have to find the offensive weaponry now to try to mount a comeback.
No,
here.
you're certainly right. You know, you're going to find yourself in situations like this probably more than once during the regular season. You got to find a way to keep your composure, come back, run your offense, and get back in the football game. And the Raiders are certainly capable of that. The one thing bad about this, well, there's more than one thing bad, but Jamarcus is just not getting as many reps as he would have if they had the ball longer.
There's the kickoff to Nick Miller. He's 4 yards deep in the end zone, coming out across the 15, the 20, and he is spilled on the 23-yard line. The Raiders have run only 6 offensive plays, which has been one of the big problems. They've got to get some rhythm here, make some first downs, and try to move the ball here. Jamarcus will get it when we come back, down 21-0 to the Saints on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Curve, but you work hard and you prepare, and they put their pants on just like I put my pants on. I don't have any fear, of any DBs or anything, or defenses or any of that. I mean, it's football. It all relates down to football.
Yeah, no fear at all in this young Florida Gator. We are going to hear more from Lewis Murphy and fellow rookie Darius Hayward-Bay. I sat down with both of them yesterday in Alameda. You'll hear that coming up. Look at Darren McFadden get free down the sideline trying to energize the Raiders. A flag comes in at the very end of the play. A 22-yard run there, McFadden off the right side. The flag was thrown at the very, very end of the play.
That was a very late flag, too. That came out when McFadden...
Offense, number 80, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That flag came out when McFadden was about 10 yards down the field.
Actually, later, I think it came out when he tumbled down. I saw it fly through the air. It was Dana McKenzie, the head linesman, who called that across the entire field on Zach Miller. Don Carey's taking charge here. His brother Mike, one of the better referees in the NFL. Don was a back judge for a long, long time at Cal Riverside, and he gets his first year as a referee. So it's 1st and 20 Raiders. McFadden is in now. Raiders need some explosives. Play action to McFadden. Russell time out to McFadden in the flat, and he's tackled there and dropped by Scott Shandley, former St. Louis Ram, Dallas Cowboy, now a 4th-year New Orleans Saint. Trying to get McFadden, Jim, out in open spaces and let him use his speed a little bit.
Yeah, they were dropping off. It was 1st and 20, long yardage situation, so they're trying to keep everything in front of him, although they did drop it off to McFadden. Really not a whole lot of room for him to run with that zone they played. But, you know, this is really a true test for Jamarcus and that offensive line going on right now. They got to find a way to pass protect, come up with big plays, and put some points on the board.
Javon Walker is in for the first time. He is lined up in the right slot wearing number 84. He was 17 as a Raider a year ago. Russell goes the other way, though, and a nice over-the-shoulder catch made by a tumbling Zach Miller. Javon Walker was just activated off the physically unable to perform list this Monday. He worked extremely hard in the offseason, another surgery on that right knee, and he is trying to mount a comeback here and give some veteran leadership, Tom, to a very young and talented, speedy wide receiving core.
Yeah, and they, as soon as we said that, Greg, they're bringing him off the field this time on a 3rd down and long situation.
They're going to bring Johnny Lee Higgins in. Walker goes over to the sidelines. Sanjay Lal, the Raider wide receiver coach, going to rotate the receivers in. Murphy is wide left, slot right. Higgins inside of Hayward Bay over the middle. Nice catch made by Murphy. Did he catch and fumble it? It is free. It may be a no catch or a catch fumble on Murphy. Right now they're ruling it a catch fumble. That is subject to review, though. I'm not sure he had it long enough. The Raiders would rather have it be no catch, obviously. Right now they're calling it a catch fumble and a recovery by the New Orleans Saints. A crossing route. He was left. He went across the field. And did he have it long enough? Tried to put it away, and the ball just popped out before Tracy Porter, the corner, came over and knocked him away.
Yeah.
Did he have it long enough?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the officials are huddled up right now, discussing it.
The ruling on the field is the pass is incomplete.
Oh, now they're saying it.
4th down.
Now they change on the field, so Tom Cable does not need to challenge. Now we'll see if Sean Payton, the 3rd-year head coach of the Saints, challenges. It is very close.
Well, he never had control of it, I don't think. He caught it. He's going to throw the flag out there. He's going to challenge it, but he caught the ball and never made, well, I don't know. It depends on whether they think he made a football move. As he was putting it away, it came out.
Well, it's not. They used to look at this where the old line, the football move. But I was talking to Mike Pereira last year when they changed the interpretation. It's basically, did he catch it? And now you look down at his feet, see if he's got the ball. I think they're going to say he caught it.
I think so, too. It looked like he got at least 1 or 1.5 steps on the ground with having possession of the football in his hands.
Yeah, I think the old football move thing, I think he may have done that. Here's Don Carey.
New Orleans is challenging the ruling of an incomplete pass.
It's basically the same thing. What's a football move or not? But what they look at now is, do you have also looking at the still photographs, Jim, with Paul Hackett. Hackett, by the way, is doing a phenomenal job. What a great quarterback coach he is. But even though Murphy may have lost
the ruling on the field is confirmed. 4th down. Please put 11:52 on the game clock.
The Raiders get a break there.
Yeah, I told you guys.
First charge timeout.
Yeah, an incompletion is a break for the Raiders, unfortunately, so far in today's game.
But you were saying you liked the way Jamarcus stepped into that throw to hit Murphy.
Yeah, he was under a lot of pressure at the time. They had a stunt on. The defender was right in his face. He stood his ground, delivered the ball right on target. It's just unfortunate the ball wasn't, hung on to and turned into a first down for Jamarcus. But a very good play by Jamarcus that time.
Jamarcus's numbers are good, 5 of 7 for 59 yards. Rod Harper going to drop back deep and return this punt by Ricky Schmidt. Now the play clock was at 12, so not a delay of game. There was movement on the line here, maybe against the Raiders.
Prior to the snap, Stars, offense, number 54, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
It's on Sam Williams, so the Raiders will drop back 5. This Raiders-Saint preseason game is brought to you in part by the Cavera Law Firm, your accident attorney. They're at 1-800-4, the numeral 4, injury. Ricky Schmidt into punt again on a 4th and 12. Rod Harper took back a punt last week, 79 yards for a score. He's not going to do it this time. The Raiders covered that superbly. That is Gary Russell, the running back, who got down. 38-yard punt by Schmidt. It was up 4 8/10 of a second, which gave Russell, the running back, time to get down as a gunner and drop Porter for nothing. So the Saints will start on their own 39-yard line.
You know, and I tell you one thing, Pop, I can see Coach Flores up here just shaking his head, you know, because you can't afford to make these kinds of mistakes during, even if it's a preseason game.
Saints have changed quarterbacks. Drew Brees is done. They're going to turn things over to the very capable 38-year-old backup, and he'll be 39 the first week of the year, Mark Brunell, and he has a tremendously strong arm still. Here's the handoff to Lionel Hamilton on the right side. Tackle made by Ricky Brown for the Raiders. Mark Brunell, he's an older guy. I wonder if he tweets, Jim.
Older guys don't tweet so much, not that I'm aware of.
They should be. They should be. You can follow the Raiders on Twitter. They're at twitter.com/Raiders. In fact, the young Raiders, they all tweet. Kirk Morrison, Thomas Howard, Darren McFadden, Louis Murphy told me yesterday. He tweets whenever he's not on the field practicing. He's telling the world via Twitter what he's doing. Here's Brunell, a left-handed quarterback, with a roll and throw, and it's out of bounds. He was trying to hit the wide receiver, Robert Meacham, and he was very well defended there, covered there by Stanford Rout, who was taken over for the Raiders at corner, replacing Nnamdi Asomugha.
And a few years ago, Mark Brunell would have taken off and run for the first down probably because everybody was covered. But, he's more of a KG veteran right now. He's not going to go out there and put his body on the line in a preseason game.
Yeah, he used to like to run. He was a good runner. Coming out of Washington, he was a good, very productive quarterback because of his ability to run.
3 times he took the Huskies to the Rose Bowl. He was the Rose Bowl MVP one year. Brunell, a screen. That ball dropped. It's no catch. Raiders all over it that time. Jay Richardson, the defensive end, was right in the lap of Lionel Hamilton, the back, which forced him to drop the ball. So the Saints went down the field 3 straight times with Brees in the game. Brunell takes over, and they go 3 and out. And the Raiders will force a punt here. Now, Glenn Pakalak was in their camp. Johnny Lee Higgins drops back deep to return the punt for the Raiders. Pakalak was a Raider punter in camp last year. Was very impressive. They waived him this Wednesday, and this is rookie round 5 pick Thomas Morstead out of SMU, who has won the job. Short punt. He has not done a great job with these punts. Neither did Pakalak, obviously, to get cut. That was only a 32-yarder there by Morstead, who had career at SMU averaged over 43 yards a punt. Well, the Raiders will have a good drive start here on their own 27-yard line. So they got to get a little rhythm going offensively. It's tough. They're down 21-0, James, but they've got to find a way to move the football a little bit here on offense, make some first downs, and get the ball down the field a bit.
Yeah, this is really their last big chance as a #1 unit to be out there on the football field prior to the start of the regular season. So, they need more reps down there.
This is the last time the starters will get a chance to play in a preseason game extensive time. There's a draw to McFadden coming left, hit by Jonathan Vilma in the hole and dropped on the Raiders' 30-yard line, a 3-yard gain. The plan is to play McFadden and Russell and Murphy and Hayward Bay and Zach Miller in the first-team offensive line the entire first half and give them one more series, Tom, in the second half. I guess they want them to simulate going into the locker room at halftime, having their bodies cool down a bit, and then having to rewarm to come out and play that first series of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's more like a real season game. And the only part that they wish they had more of, obviously they haven't, is more plays.
2nd and 7, play action from the blind side. He runs away from Will Smith, throws the ball down the field. It is caught for a first down by Murphy. Beautiful. No, incomplete. He lost the ball. Murphy thought he had it.
No, they called it a completion.
They waved it off.
Oh, they did?
They waved it off.
Darn.
Murphy was lobbying with the official that he caught it. Jabari Greer was on the coverage. First thing, though, Jim, Jamarcus sensed the pressure coming from Will Smith on the backside, got away from that, made a heck of a play outside of the numbers.
And then Louis Murphy also helped him out by coming across the field towards the quarterback, and it's unfortunate he didn't make the grab, but all in all, a good play by each one of those young players.
I'm not sure that Murphy didn't catch it, Tom.
Well, it's hard to tell from the replay that we saw whether he did catch it or not. I know that he tried to pull it back to his body, and it looks like maybe they're going to challenge it.
Now there's a stoppage here before they snap the ball on 3rd and 7.
Timeout. Oakland, their first charge timeout, a 30-second timeout. Please set the game clock to 2:05.
Well, they may have told timeout so they could see a couple of more replays up in the coach's booth. Sometimes you do that when you're not sure, because the only replay we had the advantage of seeing up here in our booth is one, and that showed the back of Murphy, not the front.
Yeah, hard to tell from that angle. Again, the officials during the preseason games, they get our feed. They also get the feed from the New Orleans Saints. Tim Brando and Solomon Wilcots are here to broadcast the game for the folks in Southeast Louisiana. So I'm not sure what video they're looking at exactly, if it's ours or a combination.
And you think about it, Greg, if they wanted to challenge it or wanted to look at it more, they could have challenged it anyway, because it's the same as a timeout if they lose. Doesn't mean
instead of calling the timeout.
Yeah.
But you also lose a challenge. You only get 2 of those a game.
Yeah.
3rd down and 7. In any event, they are not going to challenge. The Raiders 0 for 2 on 3rd downs. Will go on 3rd down here. McFadden, the lone back. Johnny Lee Higgins goes in motion, comes back and lines up in the left slot with Darius Hayward Bay. Murphy right. They chuck Murphy hard, and a high throw to Higgins incomplete. And the Raiders will have to punt the football.
And I think that was Jamarcus' first real bad throw of the day. Had the receiver on the out pattern, Johnny Lee, and he just overthrew him a little high.
Yeah, he did have him. He had about a half a step on him, so a lower ball, a caught ball, that would have been a first down, which would have been very positive. But you're right, Jamarcus overall has been very accurate today.
He has been.
Ricky Schmidt into punt again. Raider football brought to you in part by Armac and Associates, your passport to Mexico. Visit Armac at r-mac.com. Good punt here by Schmidt. Rod Harper back on the 20-yard line, 25. David Nixon is there. Nice coverage there by David Nixon, the linebacker. 50-yard punt by Schmidt and a 5-yard return before Sam Williams makes the tackle.
Let's first start off by talking about your health. How's the grind?
Oh, it's good. You know, I could have went today, I think, and you know, I'm gonna lay off of it and kicks on tomorrow and at the facility and see how it feels. It would have been nice, you know, to kick today in this heat. You know, the ball carries well here in the stadium when it's hot like this. But you know, had to be cautious about it and make sure I'm ready for the Monday night game.
Greg, you can continue with him.
All right, I love it when you're a sportscaster and the first question you ask a guy is, how's your groin? How's your groin, Shane? Here's Burnell back, going to throw a deep one down the right sideline for Meacham, broken up beautifully by Stanford Rout. Now, Shane, I was talking to you in Napa this week, and I said, we've got to have you on our broadcast, but you said, I can't because I have to go hold. If we score right away, I got to go hold for all the placements, so aren't you worried about holding right now?
I am a little nervous right now. You know, I keep trying to keep an eye on the board up there and make sure we're not intercepting a ball for a touchdown or anything like that. I'd have to drop you guys off right now.
If you hear me bellow, touchdown Raiders, take that headset off and the hat and run over and hold, would you?
Yeah, I will.
All right. We got the best punter in pro football here, so we are going to visit with Shane Lechler. 2nd and 10, New Orleans on their own 24-yard line. Shane signed a lucrative long-term deal in the offseason. Brunell is back, steps up in the pocket, throws over the middle. A catch made by Hamilton. He's got a first down over the middle. So tell me about the signing. We were worried about you and Nnamdi in the offseason, and the word was, well, they'll get maybe one, but not both. But Al Davis was able to sign both. How did he do it, Shane?
I don't know. You know, Al's always made it important to him special teams wise, and you know, he came with a great offer, and you know, it was one that nobody in this league would have turned down, and I wasn't about to. So it's good to be back here in Oakland, a familiar place, and not having to learn a new organization and stuff like that. I'm glad I'm back, and you know, when I got here, we were great. I would like to, you know, stay here long enough to get this thing turned back around and be great again.
They did not get a first down, but now they do on the handoff to Hamilton. He breaks a tackle and runs across midfield. And he's dropped on the Raider 48-yard line. I know you are fond of the head coach, Tom Cable. Tell me what you're seeing from this coaching staff and why the fans should be optimistic you guys can make the playoffs this year.
You know, the staff has been great. You know, Tom's a real hard-nosed guy, and you know, he's going to shoot you straight, and that's all you can ask for from a head coach. You know, it's been a while around here since we had somebody like that, and you know, he's a typical offensive line coach. You know, just like I said, you know, everything is plain black and white. We understand where he's coming from, and he has purpose behind what the words that he says in our meetings, and he has got the respect from this football team, and we just need to come together as a group, and we'll be fine.
Interference called on the Raiders. A catch made by Lance Moore. Shane, we're going to let you go. We thank you so much for your time. Go back and watch your team. That's Shane Leckler, the best punter in pro football. Thanks for your time, Shane. All right, there's Shane Leckler. Stanford route. Tight coverage there on Lance Moore. He's called for the interference. They'll decline that because Moore, with a tremendous one-hand catch, caught the ball.
No, he didn't catch the ball.
Oh, he didn't?
Number 26, automatic first down.
All right, so they'll take the penalty on number 26, 26-yard penalty. I thought Moore caught it. Let's see.
No, it looked like he caught it. He looked like he almost made a good catch on it, but it came out right at the end.
Oh, yeah, he didn't catch it. So that's why it's hard to talk to Shane Leckler, ask him about his groin at the same time you're trying to call play-by-play. Next time you have a groin question, Coach, that's on you, okay?
You got it.
Here's the handoff to Hamilton. Nice cutback in the hole, and he's touchdown on the 15-yard line. So 8 minutes to play in the first half. Saints up 21-0.
You know, prior to the game, down in the locker room, I was talking to Dwayne Board, who came over from Seattle, working with the defensive line, and he said one of the biggest problems we're having, you know, because I talked about the last week, giving up all those yards on the ground, is for the players to maintain their responsibility and not try to make the play and do the responsibility both. Let somebody else make the tackle.
2nd and 8. Brunell, left-hander throws. Flag on route again. He just grabbed Lance Moore there. Well, he gets back-to-back pass interference calls. He's not happy with it, but he looked like he got a lot of jersey there on Moore.
Well, there was contact. There's no question about it. It was beyond the 5-yard route, and he did grab a hold of him as he was going for the ball.
Pass interference, defense, number 26, automatic first down.
Can lead to a big play.
1st and goal from the 7. Brunell throws, and a catch made by Buck Ortega, who was listed 4th on the depth chart as far as their tight ends. He is a 2nd-year tight end, also from Miami, where Jeremy Shockey played. He's known more as a rugged blocker and special teams player. Chris Johnson on the tackle for the Raiders.
Hey, Coach, what did Mr. Davis always used to say? Pressure football, not percentage football?
Yeah.
Something to that effect?
Yeah, something to that effect. Pressure football, not percentage football, and that's...
What does that mean?
Well, that means that you attack and you score touchdowns. You don't go for the high percentage plays. Just go for the big plays.
Yeah, it's about scoring, not about picking up first down. 2nd down and goal. The Saints run straight ahead and don't get much there. Tackle made by Ricky Brown as they ran a counter there. Nice play again by Desmond Bryant. And big tackle. It was a 2nd-team All-Ivy League. I made the comment on the broadcast last week from San Francisco, one of the adjustment going from the Ivy League to the NFL. But actually he said, surprisingly, it hasn't been as bad as I thought. The speed of the game a little faster. The biggest thing is technique. He could use that more, but he's mixing in well. There's a holding call. This will negate the touchdown. Hamilton's in the end zone for a New Orleans touchdown, but it's coming back. The umpire, Garth D. Felice, threw the flag. So almost always that's a hold.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Hey,
Jamar
Papa,
Nesbitt, Jim, the left guard. I think he grabbed Gerard Warren on the goal line there.
he certainly did on that delayed draw up the middle. And you'll see it coming up right here where he's got him by the jersey. Of course it was holding. That's the only reason why that play, worked. It's because of the hold. But, you got to believe that from the Ivy League to the NFL, it's got to be more than just a little quicker. I'm sorry.
He's doing all right, though.
Yes, he is.
You had to make the adjustment from the Pac 8 back then, or was it the Pac 6?
It was the Pac 8.
Pac 2?
No, Pac 8.
Pac 8. They're down at goal on the 17. Brunell. And that's a touchdown wide open in the middle of the end. The flag is down, though. Rod Harper's got one for now, but a flag is down. It's coming back. False start on New Orleans. So 2 touchdowns back-to-back will be nullified by Saints sins, you might say. They're coming back here. Don Carey.
Illegal formation. Offense. Only 6 players on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Raiders like to use that defense a lot down there in the red zone where they drop off. They only have a 3-man rush. That time they dropped off one of the defensive linemen and we're in a three-man rush. which allows the quarterback a lot of time to throw.
This is 3rd and goal again from the 22-yard line. We've had 4 penalties on the last 7 snaps. Brunell throws low, but a catch made. Touch him down. Thomas Howard will. A sliding catch there by Billy Miller, the backup tight end, the former Denver Bronco and Houston Texan and Cleveland Brown, now a 4th-year Saint, a very good pass receiving tight end.
Illegal formation.
Another penalty.
Offense. Number 65 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Young rookie, Greg, a young rookie, Michael Brown from Ole Miss, probably trying to back up a little bit to get an advantage on a passing route. Sometimes those tackles will do that.
Now the Saints offense is very complicated. And when they were running it so beautifully when Drew Brees was in, now they've gone to some backup people. It's now they face a 3rd and goal from the 27-yard line. Mark Brunell, former Washington Husky, the inside handoff. They're trying to get closer for a field goal here. Hamilton inside the 20, still fighting for yardage. Dropped by Ricky Brown on the Raider 18-yard line. So they will bring in the field goal unit here, and it will be John. This will be a field goal attempt here of 35 yards. No dirt baseball infield to worry about right in the middle of the hashes. Straight on for the right-footed kicker. 35-yarder by Carney. And he's got plenty of distance, and he is always accurate. And the Saints now have a 24-0 lead. 5:09 to play in the first half. Saints 3 touchdowns and now a field goal lead the Raiders on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. In Raider history, it's Clarence Davis, who did not have the greatest pair of hands. And that catch he made to beat the Miami Dolphins in '74, one of the great moments. We are celebrating 50 years of Raider football. Be a part of it. 1-800-RAIDERS or Raiders.com. The Raiders have a staff member at their offices right now to take your phone call and accommodate you on any ticket package you want or a sweet deal. Be a part of it. Nick Miller will take a knee here on the kickoff return. It'll be a touchback. Raiders will start on the 20-yard line. This will be the Raiders' last home preseason game. We'll be in Seattle on Thursday to wind up the preseason. And Donovan McNabb. The Redskins will be in. And the NFC North also coming in, Baltimore and their rugged defense, in Cincinnati with Carson Palmer. 1st and 10, straight drop and a throw out right. Darren McFadden trying to put a move on Mitchell. Does and runs for a first down. Beautifully done there by Darren McFadden out in open spaces. Marvin Mitchell kind of got swerved around there. Didn't know which way McFadden was going to swivel those hips, but he picks up 11 yards.
He thought he had him for a second, but all of a sudden Darren McFadden just runs right by him. Great move on his part. Just shows you a little bit of what Darren McFadden can do out in open space.
4.5 to go in the half. Let's see if the Raiders give him the end zone one time here before halftime. Murphy goes in motion. There's a handoff to McFadden. Lead play. Orrin O'Neill leading there, but they got him in the backfield. There was a slow developing lead play. Lost the ball. Picked up by Spicer, who runs it back to the 5 before he's tackled there.
No whistle either.
Was
no
that
whistle.
A live ball and a fumble?
I didn't hear a whistle. And the official was running with the ball carrier.
McFadden on a slow developing sweep, being led by O'Neill, gets hit behind the line, and it's punched out of there by Anthony Hargrove. Hard to tell if his knee touched down, and as he was just buried by a bunch of white Saints, the ball came out. Tough to tell. The Raiders would want to review this anyway. I think he may have been down.
Looks like it. I mean, there was a lot of bodies on the ground. It would be worth a challenge, and the red flag is out.
Plus, it was so tough on Darren McFadden. Two defenders penetrated the line of scrimmage. We're in the backfield just right after the handoff, and you can't have that. You got to secure that line of scrimmage for those running backs.
So Tom Cable throws the red challenge flag about 40 yards. He grew up a Raiders fan, so he's familiar with the Mad Bomber. I think he watched that nickname. Does any coach in football fire that red flag, the challenge flag, out more than Tom? Now, it's hard to tell. The ruling on the field was a fumble. Spicer picked it up. Can't tell where the ball comes out.
No, it's pretty hard to tell with all those bodies there.
Oakland is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble and a change of possession.
Look at this.
And
pretty good distance there.
Yeah, as we've talked about it, Greg, we have only about two angles for it, and the referee has the advantage of having our 2 angles and plus the 2 angles that the New Orleans Saints have. So he's got a better advantage than we do. Maybe one of them showed that he was down.
Well, he needs it. He has to make an executive decision here. And obviously, as far as the referee, what's your ruling?
The ruling on the field stands. First down, New Orleans. Oakland is charged with their second timeout.
22 to play in the half, up 24-0. They go into an I formation now. Mark Brunell. Lance Moore goes in motion to the left. Brunell, a play action. Left-hander under pressure by Trevor Scott. And he'll throw it away. Nicely done by Brunell, but good pressure there by Trevor Scott, who had
as well as passing downs. That time he got a little help from Gerard Warren on the penetration.
He was a tight end his first 2 years playing for Turner Gill at the University of Buffalo. There's Brunell after a play action, rolling left, throwing. It's intercepted by Hiram Eugene in the end zone, coming out, trying to get a block and go. 20, still going, 25. He's out all the way across the 30-yard line. So Mark Brunell throws it right to Hiram Eugene. And the Raiders have a takeaway right in their own end zone.
You know, that's one of the, the first real positive things that have happened for the Raiders, this entire first half. Good pressure, once again, by Trevor Scott, putting pressure on him. He kind of throws it away right in the hands of Hiram Eugene, and Eugene makes a good run back with the ball after catching it in the end.
Raiders can get energized here. 4 minutes to go in the half. 1st and 10, Raiders on their own 30. Russell, straight drop, 3 steps, throws a slant, almost intercepted. He was trying to go to Darius Hayward-Bay, and Randall Gay, the corner, the former Patriot, jumped the slant, got inside, and should have intercepted that.
Yeah, just jumped all over that play. He saw it coming. That's a similar play they ran early in the first quarter. And as soon as they're in the 2-deep zone, so he doesn't have any responsibility deep. He just closed. As soon as he saw Jamarcus pull up, he closed.
Well, they jumped Hayward-Bay on the slant. Maybe time to turn that into a slant and go, the old sluggo, and see if he can go deep. Russell going to drop back. Cox to throw, check down left flat. Good catch by McFadden. And he's knocked out of bounds by Randall Gay and Jolon Dunbar. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Saints, who utilize different defensive sub-packages more than any team in football. Their new defensive coordinator is Greg Williams, who was in Jacksonville a year ago, and before that the Redskins defense. 3rd down and 4, Raiders on their own 36. Slot right, Hayward-Bay inside of Johnny Lee. Actually, Murphy is. Hayward-Bay is going down the right sideline, but they couldn't get him. The ball out, a sack, as they got Evans in there. Troy Evans, the linebacker, got in. Hayward-Bay got off the jam. He was going down the left sideline, but Hayward-Bay got behind the jam there, Randall Gay. Saints bring a player out very late. He's coming off the right side of their defense. He just ran on the field. They do pick him up, and Ricky Schmidt gets the punt away. Not a great one. A flag comes down as well. This will bounce and be picked up on the 32-yard line by Harper. He is hit and dropped. Lost the ball, but after he went down, David Nixon on the tackle for the Raiders. 44-yard punt by Schmidt. A -1 yard return there by Rod Harper. What's the flag for? Not sure the Saints had the right amount of players on the field. That one player came in extremely late.
Well, I'm not sure.
Remember in the old days, they used to go out of bounds and run behind the bench?
Oh, yeah.
And then they come out of nowhere and tackle the guy. That's a good gunner. Here's Schmidt to punt again. Don Carey's got to talk to his brother Mike. He needs to be a little more expansive in his description on what happened there. There's a good coverage there. It's John Kondo, the Raider long snapper, got down there along with Gary Russell. 46-yard punt by Schmidt, a 4-yard return by Harper. We were talking about Trevor Scott last year and the 5 quarterback.
Carry or burst in many cases, burst to the quarterback.
1st and 10, New Orleans on their own 24-yard line. And they run straight ahead there. It's P.J. Hill, a rookie free agent running back out of Wisconsin with the carry in 08. And this year they got Lewis Murphy in the 4th round, and then later got Slade Norris. This is Meacham, and he's got breakaway speed. Look at him pull away here. And they're going to catch him inside the goal line. He is dropped for where? Did not get in. He is dropped on the 1-yard line. A 71-yarder there. Stanford route missed the tackle, and Robert Meacham spun out of it and was 71 yards. 2-minute warning. Saints up 24-0, looking for more on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Johnson showing off his world-class speed. He has the numerals 419 tattooed on his calf. There's a bad route there by Stanford route. Meacham gets free, but look at Chris Johnson run Meacham down. Pretty impressive.
But I tell you, Meacham, is averaging.
Number 79 is reporting as an eligible receiver. Number 79.
Meacham is averaging this preseason 21.2 yards a carry. He's already got one long gainer of 64 yards, so the guy can fly.
First and goal, New Orleans. 2-minute warning. Here's the first play since. And the Raiders on the goal line defense keep them out there. Gerard Warren there, along with his defensive mates, Sam Williams, Jerome Boyd, and on the tackle of P.J. Hill. Boyd has played well. This rookie free agent out of Oregon, making the conversion from linebacker to safety. He has tackled very well in the preseason.
Second and goal at the 1.
In fact, the first game against the Cowboys, he had a game-high 7 tackles in that game. Second and goal from the 1-yard line. Goal line defense trying to keep him out of the I formation. P.J. Hill gets spun around, but he spins in for a touchdown. They hit him right on the goal line, but he was able to spin out of that and score. Tyvon Branch hit him, but Hill spun out of it, and the rookie free agent
to be coming on 31 points at halftime, 0 for the Raiders.
Now, the thing to keep in mind, this is only the preseason. I know it's a bit more severe because it's the third preseason game. This is the one you game plan for, and you treat it more like a regular season game. But I can recall both of you guys telling me stories over the years where we lost a preseason game one year, 48-7, and that was the year we came back and won Super Bowl. So this, to get blown out of the preseason does not mean it's going to be a long year. It's just
has not been able to stop them. And granted, this is a great offense, but this is at some point you got to stop them, make them punt.
Garrett Hartley with the kickoff. Nick Miller runs outside the numbers left to take it. 10, 15, 20 down the sideline, and he's pushed out on the 30-yard line. Nice return there by Nick Miller. The yards here. Jamarcus Russell's numbers have been decent so far in the half. Has fumbled one away, and McFadden also lost one. Pocket holds for him here, now chased out to the left. Bobby McCray hit it as he threw, and it's incomplete. Bobby McCray was a speed rush 20, where it's 1st and 20. Coming up at halftime, we are going to have a special feature for those of you watching on our TV side of our TV and radio simulcast with the 2 young wide receivers, Darius Hayward-Bay and Lewis Murphy. Russell throws, catch by Michael Bush. He is tackled from behind by Randall Gay on the 25-yard line. He got 5 back. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 15.
And that was a very good effort on Jamarcus' part. He was being run down by the defensive line, and he got the ball off accurately.
Out of the gun, hurry up offense, throw to Zach Miller. He is tackled in the field to play. Troy Evans was there to hit him, along with Lee Torrance, former Stanford Cardinal, in on the tackle. Clock on a run here now. 3rd down coming up. Big play for the Raiders. And now timeout is called by New Orleans. Sean Payton calls a timeout defensively.
Their second charge timeout, a 30-second timeout.
Got to come up with a big play somewhere.
That's what I love about Plunk. The answer is always throw it down the field. Love that. Here comes some pressure. He's going to get sacked. Bobby McCray came around Mario Henderson. That is the 3rd time Jamarcus has been sacked. For the big plays to work for this young quarterback, he has to be protected, and he was not on that play. Here's Ricky Schmidt getting pressure, gets the punt away, and he nails one. Great punt. Harper will backpedal to his 30-yard line, room to go 35. May have been a hold on Todd Watkins, the Raider gunner, but no flag. Harper comes back, breaks a tackle. Boyd gets blocked. Harper to midfield. Harper finally dropped on the Raider 46-yard line.
I don't know how that wasn't a roughing on the punter. I mean, they nailed him. He was on the ground when it was all over, and therefore it's no penalty.
What does Sean Payton do here? You want more? He's got 3 receivers right. He's going to throw forward up 31-0. Brunell's going to step in. Brunell's got a heck of an arm at age 38. A rainbow into the end zone, and it is caught by Harper. No, incomplete. It was deflected, and Harper was away from the fray there, almost caught the deflected ball. Had a great chance at it. Hiram Eugene couldn't quite tip it. I never really had much of a great chance. Watching it live, it looked like he actually caught it and then lost it when he went down, but it did hit the ground clearly before he got to it.
Plus, New Orleans has one more play to go.
1 second to go. They're going to kneel down, and they're going big ball again. Brunell's got a great arm, doesn't he, for a guy approaching 40, steps up, going to throw one again, a big rainbow, and it is intercepted here. And Chris Johnson can go, one of the fastest guys on the field. A couple of blocks, he may score. 35-40, midfield. Now he's dropped at midfield. Well, that last second almost gave the Raiders what they want. Adrian Arrington, a young wide receiver, on the eventual tackle. Brunell intercepted. The half is over. 31-0 New Orleans. It's not a good one, though, to be sure, as the Saints had 19 first downs. The Raiders had 3. They had 344 yards. The Raiders had 60. But enough about the numbers. Let's just see how the Raiders respond here at halftime. Greg Papa rejoined by Jim Plunkett and Tom Flores. Let me start with the coach. The plan was to play Jamarcus Russell the first half, maybe a series in the third quarter. In light of the fact the Raiders didn't have the ball real long in the first half, do you think they may go with him a little longer in the second half to try to get some rhythm with the starters on offense? Because they're not going to play a whole lot after today. When they go to Seattle, they'll probably get a series and they're out.
It wouldn't surprise me. It depends on how they do on this first drive. I wouldn't change what you had planned for this game. You had planned on bringing the first unit back the first series of the second half. You still do it now. If you only have 3 plays and out, then you might consider another drive. But so far, the plan has not worked. But sometimes game plans don't work. But don't change the game plan, just change the execution. Work on getting that execution better.
All right, the 7-11 halftime stats are just ugly in every category. Jamarcus Russell, though, Jim, 9 of 14 for 86 yards in the first half. First play of the game, he gets Hayward Bay on a slant for 12, then he hits Zach Miller for 30. When they protected him and caught some balls he threw, he played okay in that first half. It was not all on him.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And not only that, sometimes, you have to play under a little bit of duress, which he did, and he threw the ball fairly well, even under duress. So I still think he's making progress, but overall they've got to pass protect better. And it's tough being down 31-0. You just have to hang in there.
There's Nick Miller on the return out across the 20 and dropped on the 25-yard line. Our second half kickoff and return is brought to you by Oakland Used Truck Center. Still making it happen. Visit them online at www.oaklandutc.com. Hartley on the kickoff. Nick Miller's return there of 18 yards will give Jamarcus Russell a drive start of his own 25-yard line. And the numbers there, not bad. 9 of 14 for 86. He was sacked 3 times. A quarterback rating of 81.2, but he could have had more help around him in protection and a couple of balls that were bobbled and dropped. So we'll see if the Raiders can get something going here. The first possession of the second half. Zach Miller goes in motion. The first unit is out there on the line as well. It's a play action to Rankin. They blitz over the middle and a catch made by Zach Miller, and he is caught from behind. Breaks the tackle of Heath Evans and winds up in New Orleans territory. Dropped on the Saint 48-yard line. Well, that's more of what we saw early in the game, Tom. 27 yards to one of the more underrated tight ends in football, Zach Miller.
Well, a little wrinkle off the same thing they did earlier when they hit him down the middle. That time he went in a little motion again, this time running a crossing route, and he was open. They were in man coverage, and he had coverage with a linebacker, and he's going to win those battles when he goes against linebackers.
Zach Miller, a terrific second year in the league a year ago. 56 receptions, led the Raiders in receiving. The first time a Raider tight end has done that since Plunkett was throwing to Christensen back in the 80s. Here's a handoff, flags down on each side, no play. They hand it off to Rankin, but it's a pre-snap penalty, a false start on the Raiders. Don Carey's crew has the call. This will drop the Raiders back 5.
Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Called on fullback Luke Lawton. Saw a lot of Orrin O'Neal in the first half, and now Luke Lawton will get some play as a fullback.
And that's one of the things they have to do as an offensive unit, cut down on those mistakes, because obviously they'll kill you every time. It could ruin a big play or a touchdown or a first down. You got to eliminate those mistakes to make you a better offensive unit.
Raiders 7 penalties. They had 6 in the first half. 14 2 weeks ago against Dallas, cut it down to 7 last week against Dallas, but they were untimely. Here comes McCray again, and Russell is sacked in the middle of the line. Bobby McCray did not get the sack, but it's done in the middle of the line there by Remy Adele, 4th-year defensive lineman from Oklahoma. Technically, it will not be a sack, as Russell was able to pick up a yard on that play. Pressure came from the outside, though Bobby McCray forced Jamarcus to step up, coach, and then Adele was able to drop him.
Well, so far the offensive line is having trouble individually with one defender or the other. McCray is having a pretty good afternoon.
That's Bobby McCray's game. Second down for the Raiders. Again, pressure, throw out short, and the catch made by Zach Miller, tackled immediately by Pearson Prelo, who has played wherever Greg Williams is coaching. He's playing. And Greg was the head coach in Buffalo. He was there 3 years in Washington. He was there last year in Jacksonville. He was there. Now Greg goes to New Orleans. And guess where Pearson Prelo is?
Yeah, and
in the Bayou.
One of the things that, the Saints did was come on a blitz, and that makes you throw the ball a little bit quicker. Even though if you dump it off for a 2-3 yard gain, it's not going to hurt the defense.
Jamarcus coming over to the sideline here. They're calling a timeout.
Timeout, Oakland. Their first charge timeout.
All right, timeout Raiders. They will face a 3rd and 12 when we come back, trailing the Saints 31-0 with 2 minutes and 18 seconds gone in the second half on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
For cash on select SX4 models.
I never thought I would have a heart attack, but I did. You need to talk to your doctor about aspirin. You need to be your own advocate.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
You take care of your kids. Now it's time to take care of yourself.
Tender flame grilled chicken. You want it? We've got it for only 89 cents.
This is only 88 cents.
Ooh.
89. See you tomorrow.
The 89-cent grilled chicken burrito, only at Taco Bell. Why pay more?
It is the world's deadliest game. He is the game's best player.
Take care of your business, don't you?
Completely. Gerard Butler, Ludacris, and Michael C. Hall.
Let's rock, baby.
Gamer. Rated R. Included this Friday.
Some people buy a car based on the deal they get. Others buy the car of their dreams. During the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event, you can do both. Special lease offers now available on the 2009 ES350.
This is your NFL Network.
The indestructible Jim Otto, 00, the greatest center in the history of the American Football League and the first Raider to go into the Hall of Fame back in 1980. So that first snap in Raider history was Jim Otto to Tom Flores?
That's right.
That was it?
That was it.
What'd you do with the snap? You throw it deep on the first one?
I don't remember.
Make up a story, would you? 3rd down and 12.
Nobody around to dispute it,
I'm
right?
not going to say you're wrong on that. There's pressure. Russell throws. Dropped by Johnny Lee Higgins. He got behind Randall Gay. Jamarcus delivered the ball. It would have been a first down. And with Johnny Lee's speed, there's no telling how far he would have gone, but he just dropped it.
And once again, the Saints came with a blitz. Jamarcus stood in there, delivered the ball, should have been caught.
Absolutely should have been caught. If you're trying to be one of the playmakers on this team, you got to catch that ball. That was just a little low, but catchable. And that would have been a huge play.
Ricky Schmidt into punt. Gets the snap from Kondo, puts it into the air from the 40. A swirling ball taken on the 10-yard line. And Rod Harper is out across the 20 and dropped on the 25-yard line. Gary Russell doing a nice job along with Luke Lawton, the 2 running backs. Halfback and a fullback down to cover it up. 38-yard punt by Schmidt, who has taken all the punts today for Shane Lechler. And a 12-yard return by Rod Harper. So Mark Brunell will continue a quarterback for the Saints. Their 3rd quarterback is Joey Harrington, former Detroit Lion, high draft pick, a Dolphin, a Falcon, and now a 2nd-year Saint. Put up tremendous numbers in the Pac-10 at the University of Oregon. We may see Joey before the afternoon is over. Drew Brees was pretty good, 14 of 17 for 179, a couple of scores and a quarterback rating of nearly 150. Brunell, straight drop, left-hander back, pats the ball, fires middle, catch, and then a drop. It's incomplete. That's Rod Harper, the punt returner, had that ball delivered perfectly. He just dropped it, the first-year free agent receiver out of Murray State.
That was a pretty good throw by Brunell. A lot of black shirts around there. He put it right in there. As you mentioned, Pop should have been caught, but maybe he was tired after that punt return.
Well, Mark Brunell looks good. He's had some good years in the NFL. He's made 150 career starts. He's thrown for over 31,000 yards, 182 touchdowns throughout his great career. There's a handoff and a short gain by Lionel Hamilton. Alston on the tackle. Hamilton in a great first half. He had 63 yards rushing. Brunell was mainly a Jacksonville Jaguar. Was there for 9 years, 3 times a Pro Bowler, and took him twice to the AFC Championship game. And he went to Washington for 4 years. Third and 9. Brunell out of the shotgun. Raiders are playing press coverage across the field. 3 wide receivers are out. Brunell pats the ball again, fires, incomplete. Good coverage there Little high to Harper, but tightly defended by Chris Johnson. Great man coverage there on Harper.
But once again, you know, the Raiders blitzed that time, but still couldn't get you Brunell. You know, they got to find a way to put pressure on that quarterback.
Can't beat pressure. Pressure, Greg, is a great element to have on defense, and there are very few quarterbacks that can throw under pressure.
New Orleans Saints only got their quarterback sacked last year 13 times, which is just incredible in a 16-game schedule. Of course, Drew Brees has a lightning-quick release. Thomas Morstead, the rookie round 5 pick out of SMU to punt. Johnny Lee Higgins will return. He gets popped right away by the gunner. That is Courtney Roby, wide receiver, will hit on the moment. Johnny Lee Higgins caught the ball, 41-yard punt, and certainly no return. 31-0 Saints on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Hi, I'm John Chair, CEO and founder of Video Professor. I'm the guy that gives away all the free computer learning lessons. Well, I've given away hundreds of thousands of my lesson on eBay, and I'm not done yet. Call right now to get your free lesson on how to buy and sell on eBay. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I can make you the next millionaire selling an attic full of baseball cards, but I can guarantee you I'll teach you everything you need to know about eBay. Now, I can do this because I know that once you try my lesson on eBay, you'll come back to Video Professor for all your computer learning needs. And with over 60 lessons on all of today's most popular computer programs, I know that there's more you're going to want to learn. Don't wait. Call now and I'll send you my lesson on eBay or any other lesson of your choice absolutely free. Try my product.
Don't wait another second to improve your life. Get eBay, Windows, Excel, or any of Video Professor's easy learning CDs for free. Call now to get the skills you need to succeed. Call 1-800-223-9053. 1-800-223-9053.
Two of MMA's all-time legends will finally meet in the octagon. Former UFC heavyweight champion Randy the Natural Couture will battle Antonio Minotauro Nogueira to cement their legacy and take a step toward becoming champion again. And a clash of strikers as 13-1 Thiago Silva takes on the Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine. Harley-Davidson presents UFC 102, Couture versus Nogueira. Live Saturday, August 29th from the Rose Garden Arena in Portland, Oregon on DirecTV pay-per-view.
Fake/37 Buster, naked right, Z-post, kill, Z-pick, touchdown.
That's where I got the bump and run from John Wooden, watching his teams play. Pressure defense. He put the pressure on the basketball right away. I thought we could do that in football.
And they certainly did for years. Kent McLuhan and the great Willie Brown, and the Raiders have been playing bump and run coverage for years. Mike Haynes and Lester Hayes now trying to do it with Chris Johnson and Nnamdi Asomugha. Greg Papa, Jim Plunkett, Tom Flores up in the booth, JT the Brick, and George Atkinson, who knows a thing or two about bump and run coverage downstairs. Here's Jamarcus Russell with a flip to Lewis Murphy on an end around, trying to get wide there. Randall Gay stayed home on that side and made a nice play. The cornerback able to negate that. Not a big gainer there by Murphy. We bring in George Atkinson downstairs. Talk about the concepts of the bump and run, George, not just from the cornerback position where you started, but also what a safety's job is when the corners are playing bump and run.
Well, safety job is to get over the top and make sure that the cornerback has support over the top so he can play aggressive at the line of scrimmage and he can get a good jam and keep the receiver from getting off the line. And the concept of the bump and run is just like Mr. Davis said, is to put pressure but also to throw the timing of the offense off. Throw the timing between the receiver and the quarterback off by bumping and running. And bump and run means that, hey, you jam the receiver at the line of scrimmage and run with him after he releases.
All right, George. Lewis Murphy made a big catch down the middle of the field. As he went down, he lost the ball again, and they're saying it's a catch fumble and a New Orleans recovery here. Murphy made a terrific catch, had to stretch out with two hands extending out to make the catch, and he lost the ball. Chris Reese, the free safety, as he rolled over, got back up, and before he touched down, the ball was stripped out by Pearson Prelo and picked up by Chris Reese. So he caught it, log rolled, got up before he was touched down, and then before he touched down again, the ball was stripped. So that is a legitimate fumble.
Well, and there's the difference. There's a difference when you were interviewing it before the game, and between college and the pros. You got to be ready for that. It's a physical game all the way until the whistle blows, and the pros are great at stripping the ball out of your grasp.
And that is twice that he's had that happen to him today. He got lucky earlier. There's a broken tackle by the Raiders and a big run there by Lionel Hamilton, running right through the middle of the front for a 14-yard pickup. Hiram Eugene makes the tackle on Hamilton. We talked to Murphy before the game, Jim, and he runs very good routes for a young wide receiver. He looks very refined for a rookie, but as coach mentions, after you catch the ball, the guys in the NFL are coming to take it away from you.
Yeah, they certainly are. Usually in college, you get a little bit quicker whistle. They don't want any injuries to these young men, but here you got to maintain that ball until that whistle blows.
Toss to Hamilton coming right, and he is tackled by William Joseph coming down from his defensive tackle position. Hamilton across midfield is dropped on the Raider 49-yard line. William Joseph is playing real well at a great camp. Of course, he was a former #1 draft pick to the New York Giants, the 25th overall pick in 2003, 5 years with the Giants. The year they won the Super Bowl, he missed most of that year with injury, and the Raiders got him in the offseason before last year. Played in 8 games last year, and he's playing real well. He could be a regular contributor in the defensive tackle rotation. You need more than 2, you need 3 or 4. There's a handoff to Hamilton coming right, and he's dropped on the Raider 45-yard line. That'll bring up a third down to about 3 or 4. Raiders, Tom, are still leaving in some of their first-team defenders here into the second half. Tommy Kelly's coming back in. Gerard Warren is in. Joseph now leaves. In fact, their defensive line has Trevor Scott in there. It's their starting group. Trevor Scott with Warren and Kelly, and Greg Ellis stays out there.
Well, they're substituted quite a bit, freely because of the heat down there. Those big guys, those big pachyderms, they feel the heat a little bit more than your thoroughbreds do, but they've got to play better. They've got to get themselves ready to play better and make some plays.
There's a toss to Hamilton. Nice defense there by the Raiders. Greg Ellis able to force that back inside, and Tommy Kelly came down and tripped him up. Pachyderm, no, that's the baseball team here, Tom.
Yeah, no,
that's the Elephants, the A's.
Yeah, as I was saying that, the defense did make a good play. Like you said, Greg Ellis forced the play to come in, and they cut it down, and the pursuit was there. And that's what you have to have. It's 11 guys for the ball, and because of that, it goes into 4th down. It looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Plus, that defense has been out there a long time. They've had to put up with a lot of long drives. They've got to be getting a little tired.
So 4th and 2 on the Raider 43, and Sean Payton will go for it. Now timeout has been called by the head coach of the Saints.
Yeah, I think they were running out of time. They took a long time to get out of the huddle.
New Orleans, their first charge timeout.
Sean Payton, one of the better play designers and play callers around pro football, longtime coordinator with the Eagles, Giants, and Cowboys, now a 3rd-year head coach of the Saints. 4th down when we come back. 31-0 New Orleans over the Raiders on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
There's no way to hide it. If you drive drunk, we will find you. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement and cracking down like never before.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight? Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Make no mistake, you will get caught and you will be arrested. Over the limit, under arrest.
This is my Verizon small business specialist, Tom. Now, I know the catering business, but when I walked in here, I wasn't sure what I needed. I'm not sure what I need. Tom showed me how to use MiFi to get my whole team working online on location. I was like, whoa. Whoa.
Only Verizon Wireless has small business specialists in every store to help you do business better.
You're like my secret ingredient.
Come in today and connect up to 5 devices on one 3G connection. Now only $99.99.
Yeah. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. And may you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. And may your heart always be joyful. And may your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. May you stay.
Every generation refreshes the world. Pepsi, official soft drink of the NFL.
This is your NFL Network.
Football's fabulous females entertaining here in Oakland. Greg Papa, Jim Plunkett, and Tom Flores up in the booth. JT the Brick and George Atkinson downstairs on a very hot day. 95 degrees plus Very unusual for Northern California any time of the year. Saints, not a great short yardage team a year ago, so Sean Payton's going to go for it. He goes into a shotgun formation. Brunell's got time on 4th and 2, throws, catch made by Harper, first down, tackled by Chris Johnson, breaks that tackle. Johnson was trying to strip him of the ball, and then Chris Johnson recovered to make the tackle eventually on Harper. So the Saints want to run it up in there more on 4th and 2 in the preseason. So what do? They put Brunell in the shotgun and they throw for the first down.
Well, they've been very successful in that. Their pass protection has been very good, allowing the quarterbacks to find the open man. And with an experienced guy like Brunell, and also with the the precision guy that Drew Brees is, that spells danger.
New Orleans has run 55 plays to the Raiders 27. Here's Hamilton off the left side across the 35 and bangs down to around the 31-yard line. William Joseph makes the tackle on Lionel Hamilton, who was approaching 100 yards here. He's up to 91. Oakland Raiders football brought to you in part by Armac and Associates, your passport to Mexico. Visit armac.com. Raiders will be in Seattle on Thursday at Quest Field. It'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. And then we get set for the season opener Monday night, September the 14th against the Chargers. Make your plans to be with us for opening night and every day and night the Raiders play. 1-800-Raiders or Raiders.com. Raiders open against the San Diego Chargers, boys. So it starts right away against the 3-time defending AFC West champions. The Chargers are the first team to win the division 3 straight years since the Raiders did it to begin the decade, 2000, 2001, and 2002. And then the Raiders go to Kansas City in week 2 and then home for Denver. First time in 20 years the Raiders' first 3 games will be within the AFC West. 3rd and 3. Hamilton off left tackle will run for a first down. A little cutback there, slight cutback, much like Mike Bell's running style, coach, and he cuts back for the first down, gets up slowly. He's winded.
Number 30, Lionel Hamilton.
Well, there was a little softness back to the right side, the left side of the defensive line, and that's what they ran at. They ran to the left, and then there was a little softness, so he cut back to the right. Didn't need a lot of yardage to pick up the first down.
Hamilton jogs off the field limping a bit. They're playing without Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush is here today but not playing. He has a strained right calf. Also Pierre Thomas, their leading runner a year ago, is out with a sprained medial collateral ligament in his right knee. 1st and 10 New Orleans on the Raider 26. Brunell out of the shotgun. Plenty of time. Brunell going to roll out right, being chased by Grunheim. A flag comes down. Brunell will run for yardage inside the 25. 2 flags actually came down right around the line of scrimmage. Holding which way?
Got to be offense.
Holding. Defense, number 57.
Yeah, well.
Did he say,
first down.
Jim, did he just say it's got to be offense?
He did.
He did say that, right?
I was wishful thinking, I tell you. That's amazing. It's amazing. I tell you, one of the things, but look at that last play. There's a big reason that the Saints are so good at passing the ball. The Raiders came with a blitz, and there was no penetration at all. The pocket was perfect. You had all day to throw and run out of the pocket and still look for somebody.
Yeah, even with the blitz, they couldn't get close to him. And if you're going to blitz, those guys are one-on-one back there. They've got their hands full.
So they take the defensive hold. It's 1st and 10 at New Orleans, now in the red zone. They're on the Raider 19-yard line. I formation, and it's an end around here. This is Roby. Howard. He missed the tackle, but he played that well. Hiram Eugene steps up and also makes the tackle. So they run the end around there to Courtney Roby, 4th-year wide receiver out of Indiana University in Bloomington, drafted by Tennessee in 05, a 3rd-round pick, a high pick in a couple of years there. One good year, a good rookie year. They love this action. They will give it to their wide receivers a lot on end arounds. And that's something I think when the regular season starts, you'll see the Raiders doing quite a bit with Darius Hayward-Bay. 2nd and 2. Handoff and a wide and a touchdown by P.J. Hill. Boy, he just got outside wide and there was nobody there at all. And P.J. Hill takes it into the end zone for a touchdown. And what's really disturbing about this, the Raiders have a lot of their first-team defenders out there. And the Saints have gone to a backup offensive group and they still score.
Yeah, That's similar to what happened last week, getting outflanked by the offense, and he just bounced and bounced and kept bouncing until he found nothing but green grass.
Now it's P.J. Hill with a touchdown. Ran for almost 4,000 yards in just 3 years at Wisconsin. Had huge years, starting with his freshman year, over 1,500 yards, and he's in the end zone as an NFLer. 38-0 New Orleans, 4:40 to go third quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Skinit.com tailgate packs. Choose from all 32 NFL teams, your favorite college teams. Get ready for game day. Skinit.com tailgate packs. Get in the game.
Yeah. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. And may you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. And may your heart always be joyful. And may your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. May you stay.
Every generation refreshes the world. Pepsi, official soft drink of the NFL.
This is your NFL Network.
Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett back in the broadcast booth on our radio and TV simulcast. JT the Brick and George Atkinson downstairs. 38-0 New Orleans. They will kick off again. Garrett Hartley, who was a rookie free agent with Denver in 08. New Orleans signed him right after the Raiders played him in October, early October. The Saints signed him in a very good year for them last year. Strong leg, 9 touchbacks a year ago. Nick Miller is back to return this kickoff. Jeff Garcia was warming up on the Raiders sideline, so I think he's going to come into the game, and Jamarcus will be done. Hartley's kickoff, a good one. Miller will make the catch and take the knee about 6 yards deep in the end zone. Touchback for Hartley. It will be Jeff Garcia at quarterback for the Raiders when we come back. See if he can spark them down 38-0 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
There's never been a game like it.
Cable, I'm playing you.
Real people, real death.
Your wife and your daughter need you.
This Friday, break free or die trying.
I'm dead.
Gamer, rated R. Get theaters Friday.
Nothing matches that dentist level of clean. But imagine if you could get that dentist smooth clean feeling every time you brush at home. You can with Oral-B rechargeable brushes. Dentist-inspired cupping action surrounds each tooth to remove up to twice as much plaque as a regular manual brush. The power of a dentist smooth clean feeling every day. Oral-B rechargeable brushes starting at $22.
Corona Light, now in a 12-ounce tall can.
Tender flame grilled chicken. You want it? We've got it for only 89 cents.
This is only 88 cents.
Ooh,
89. See you tomorrow.
The 89-cent grilled chicken burrito, only at Taco Bell. Why pay more?
Some people buy a car based on the deal they get. Others buy the car of their dreams. During the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, you can do both. Special lease offers now available on the 2009 IS250.
This is your NFL Network.
All right, I know where I can find JT the Brick down on the Raiders sideline. He's right by that fan, isn't he? Well, let it get to Tommy Kelly and Gerard Ward and William Joseph and Cornell Green. A little roasty. 95 degrees today. Although it's a dry 95. Jeff Garcia's taken over. Jamarcus Russell is done for the day. Raiders going to an eye behind him. And Garcia play action to Russell. Going to throw down the middle. Caught by Stewart, then broken up by Pearson Prelo. Nice hit by Prelo. Garcia delivered it. But Prelo came over, knocked it away from Tony Stewart as we check in with the cool JT the Brick downstairs.
I'll tell you, Greg, when Jeff Garcia came in, he went up to every offensive lineman, started screaming at him, said, it's time that we make a play. This is our time. Very inspirational, considering the body language of some of the other players. He fired everyone up. And last thing, Greg, I love to tweet. I Twitter, I tweet, I love it. Go to Oak Raiders if you want to tweet. Follow the Raiders all season long at twitter.com/Oak Raiders.
I'm impressed a man of your age knows how to tweet, JT. Twitter.com/Raiders. Spell it all out. Here's Brandon Myers, the rookie. Nice catch, low tackle. He is dropped there by Reese. Jeff Garcia in a quarterback. One of the very best backup quarterbacks in football, to be certain. He's only had this role a couple of times in his career. In '99, Steve Young was the starting quarterback for the Niners. Then Jeff was the backup. So he wound up getting hurt that year. And Jeff played a lot. And then he also was the backup quarterback in Philly for Donovan McNabb in 2006. McNabb got hurt, and he wound up playing a lot this year, or that year as well. But it's certainly good to have a strong backup, and Garcia is that. He knows his role on this team. Garcia, wobbly ball, and a catch made by Murphy for a first down. This time he holds on to it. Reese comes over and grabs him around the helmet, but Murphy keeps the ball out of bounds with a 16-yard pickup.
Yeah, one of the things about Jeff is, you know, he's an experienced guy. He knows where to go with the football. He knows where his receivers are supposed to be. And, you know, as soon as he comes off the fake, he looks right at him. He knows it's a blitz. He knows it's man-to-man. Right off the bat, so you know he finds that receiver and gets them the ball quick.
Final year in Tampa Bay. Last year he missed some time with a calf injury. 12 games, 11 of those were starts. There's a play action to Russell. The Saints blitz. Garcia hit as he throws, incomplete as he got knocked down there. Saints brought some pressure. Lee Torrance came out of blitz. They brought a couple of defenders from the deep secondary. Malcolm Jenkins came, their #1 draft pick, the cornerback out of Ohio State. Tom, you know the evolution of a quarterback late in their careers. You were a starter most of your early years with the Raiders in the 60s. You and Cotton Davidson shared time, but you were a starter. Then you went to Buffalo, wound up going to Kansas City, and backed up Lenny Dawson on a Super Bowl team. At some point in your career, you have to make the evolution from starter to being a backup.
Well, you do. Some guys can, some guys can't. I don't think Jeff ever thinks like a backup. And you can't really think that you're going to sit there your whole career. You can't be happy doing that. So you always have to be ready. And you can say without hesitation, Jeff is always ready when he's called upon.
And that 2nd and 10, he threw a middle screen to the back. Gary Russell, who was dropped for a 1-yard loss. So it is 3rd down and 11. You know, Garcia just needs some play time here. He did not do much in training camp, the very first weekend of camp, before the Raiders even started hitting. He restrained that right calf that gave him problems last year in Tampa. So he needs to find the rhythm, even though he's been around forever, Jim. He's got to acclimate back into being a quarterback. 3rd and 11. He has time, steps up, throws middle, catch made by Lewis Rank in the back. Nice move, but he's dropped in midfield. We'll see if the Raiders go for it here. It is 4th down and 3, right at midfield. I think Tom Cable will go for it.
Yeah, I think so. But here's Jeff, you know, dropping back, seeing that there's nobody downfield, smart enough to give himself a little bit of time and just drop it off, hoping the guy can break a tackle or make somebody miss and pick up the first down. But here again, they're going to go for it on 4th. There's nothing to lose at this point in the ball game, and it gives Jeff Garcia another down to get acclimated to the offense.
Jeff did not play very much last week in San Francisco. He came into that final 2-minute drill before the half. Did not play at all against Dallas in the opener. 4th down, he drops to throw, throws one down the sideline for Murphy, who makes the catch on Torrance, breaks the tackle, 25, tries to stay up, 20. Look at the big guy go down to the New Orleans 20-yard line. Nicely done by Murphy, a 30-yarder there.
See, and once again, that's just knowing where to go with the football. They come on a blitz, it's one-on-one on the outside, and Murphy runs a great up route, a fade route down the sidelines, and Jeff hits him right on the money.
Yeah, there was no question where Jeff was going. He was looking for him. And there was no question when he got the ball. He got rid of the ball right away. It wasn't a great throw, but it was accurate, and it was caught. Murphy put both hands on the ball, young man, both hands on the ball. He still carried it one hand when he gets in traffic.
Nice pocket as well. They protected Garcia well on that play. Handoff to Rankin up the middle, breaks one tackle and dives down to the 16-yard line. He broke the tackle of Troy Evans, the strong side linebacker. Murphy a bit winded here. He's used to the hot weather growing up in Florida and playing at the University of Florida.
He's too young to be winded, Pop.
You think so?
No, there's no way he's winded.
3 catches, 84 yards. He's made some nice catches on this drive. He's had a 16-yarder and now comes back with a 30-yarder. See if they can get in inside the red zone now. Just 38 seconds to go in the third quarter. Raiders down 38-0. Bunch formations right and left. Pressure. Garcia steps up and a flag goes down. He overthrows Todd Watkins. The Raiders may have been holding in the interior line there. We shall see. Garcia stepped up in the pocket, something he's very adept at, and just overthrew Watkins a bit.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Trying left guard, Paul McQuiston.
You know, that sometimes happens with a guy who does scramble around a little bit. All of a sudden, the offensive lineman is blocking one way and the quarterback goes the other way, and the defender starts to run away from the offensive lineman, and so he tends to grab out and try to prevent him from chasing the quarterback. And it happens, you know, quite often when you have a scrambling quarterback.
Now this is where the Raiders have too many problems.
Please put 26 seconds back on the game clock.
They'll add
26 seconds.
They'll add 3 seconds. It was down to 23. But when they get inside the red zone, just too many penalties in the interior line, Coach, whether it's a false start or a hold, and it gets you into these long down and distances.
Yeah, I know as much as offensive linemen revere protecting the quarterback, they still have to do it legally. Otherwise, it's devastating when you get a 10-yarder.
2nd and 16 on the 26. Garcia steps up. He's going to run for whatever he can get. He takes a big hit by Evans and dropped on the 22-yard line. Troy Evans did not get him square. He was able to move to the side, but he got a big piece of him. Garcia's a tough guy, though. And he's still quick at age 39. It'll be the last play of the third quarter. Raiders began the quarter down 31-0. New Orleans got 1 touchdown, and now they'll take a lead of 38-0. Into the fourth quarter. We'll see if the Raiders can score when we come back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. 15 minutes of Raiders football are brought to you in part by Geico. How much could you save? 15 minutes could save you 15%. Visit Geico at geico.com. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the booth, JT the Brick, and George Atkinson downstairs on a sweltering hot Saturday afternoon. Make your plans to be with us for a Monday night in mid-September, September the 14th, Raiders and Chargers. Great packages available to you. Call 1-800-RAIDERS or get online, Raiders.com. Garcia under siege immediately gets rid of it out. Did he get outside the tackle box to avoid the grounding? Is the call there. Don Carey, the referee, standing right there, will keep his flag in the pocket. Media pressure from Anthony Hargrove. Bobby McRae was also there. Now they're going to talk it over, see if he got wide. They could throw the flag later.
Well, the ruling also, if he gets wide enough to throw it, but he also has to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
I think he did that, though, didn't he?
It's pretty close, yeah.
There was no penalty for grounding. The quarterback was not out of the pocket.
And the quarterback was out of the pocket. So that's a timeout called by New Orleans. Don Carey, his first year as a referee after being a back judge for 14 years. He said the quarterback was not out of the pocket, which would mean it would be grounding, so he got that mixed up.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Yeah, but the other night I was watching the game, Greg, and the quarterback got outside the pocket, but he didn't get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. They flagged him, and it was...
That's part of it.
And they had to explain that as a new rule.
All right, I'm getting out of the pocket, and I'll get it back to the line. Just not right now. 4 seconds into the fourth on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Plunkett, football's fabulous females. 38-0 New Orleans are the leaders, and the Raiders will go for it here. And it was not intentional grounding. Don Carey got back on the public address and said the quarterback got outside the pocket. There was also a receiver nearby. That's why it's not ruled that way. Raiders go 4th down and 12 from the New Orleans 22. They need the 10-yard line. Garcia pumps, throws, end zone for Murphy. It's broken up by Torrance, incomplete. Pearson Prelo was there, the safety, but it was Lee Torrance, the former Stanford Cardinal, that came over and batted that one away.
Number 24, Lee Torrance.
Going to Murphy. He appears to be the go-to guy for both Jamarcus and for Jeff Garcia.
Yeah, he's had quite an afternoon. A lot of balls thrown his way. Made some good plays and then made a couple of bad plays with the holding on to the ball.
And it was a tough situation for Garcia, 4th and long, trying to go for it into the end zone when everybody's dropped off, playing zone, playing the ball. Tough situation to be in.
Well, New Orleans will take over on their 22-yard line. And they have brought in their third quarterback. Joey Harrington is in. And he hands off right away to P.J. Hill. Joey Harrington, of course, the former Oregon Duck. There he was 25-3 for Coach Mike Bellotti. Threw for over 6,900 yards, 59 touchdowns. High draft pick of the Detroit Lions, the 3rd overall pick in 2002. Was there when Steve Mariucci was coaching, 4 years with Detroit, a year in Miami, a year in Atlanta. Was a Saint last year, did not play at all. And he's just trying to regain his confidence. There's a handoff to Hill, breaks a tackle, 35 down the sideline, 40, knocked out by John Bowie at midfield. Knocked out of the New Orleans 48-yard line. P.J. Hill able to slip the sideline for a 22-yard gain.
Yeah, but it also behooved the Raiders, a lot of these defensive players to perform well. They have some of these guys have their jobs on the line, and they got to continue playing till the gun sounds at the end and make some plays down there.
At the 6:49.
The first cutdown day plunk in the NFL comes up on Tuesday, September the 1st. Not a big cut. Right now the teams are at 80. They will have to trim to 75 by Tuesday. The big cut comes up on Labor Day weekend. The teams have to go from 75 down to 53 then. Well, that's a big one. 22 got to go. Jay Richardson made the tackle a moment ago. September 1 from 80 to 75. And then right after the teams play their 4th and final preseason games, the Raiders will play theirs on September the 3rd, a Thursday night in Seattle. Then by Saturday, you got to be down to 53, and the next day you establish your 8-man practice squad, and you get set for the new year to begin. 2nd and 7. There's Harrington, a play action to Hill. Joey has a strong arm. And too low there for Harper, incomplete. Joey can throw the ball, Jim. There's no doubt about that. It's a question of just getting the rhythm back of being a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, getting your confidence back. Obviously I've been in that position when I joined the Raiders back in 1978, getting the opportunity to take some reps, learn the system, and be comfortable in what you're doing.
How long did it take you to regain your confidence?
A week. No.
Because you had Flores as your coach.
I also had Kenny Stabler, who was their quarterback when I got here. So, I didn't have much choice in the matter, but it certainly paid off.
There was no urgency in playing Jim right away, so we made him 3rd string and just let him get comfortable with the system. And knowing exactly that he was going to produce for us later on and win 2 Super Bowls.
You knew that.
Exactly.
So there was never a thought. If we put him in now, we may win a 3rd one early.
That was a master plan. Yeah.
And it's very similar to what Harrington is facing now. He's behind Breeze and Brunell. They don't need him to play at all.
Right.
We'll see if he can be a Super Bowl winner like Jim was. One of the great stories in the history of the NFL. And you guys were able to win in 80 and do it in the great city of New Orleans. 4th down. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Not anymore.
False start. 4th and 6.
Not anymore. I think the left guard.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Drew Brees entrenched as the starter, one of the best quarterbacks in football. And Mark Brunell will be the veteran backup, and then Joey Harrington's is 3rd on their list. The Raiders also have some veterans in their quarterback stable. I don't think we're going to see either Bruce Gradkowski or Charlie Fry today. There was a possibility of just playing Garcia as a backup. Harrington going to lob one wide open, catch made by the big tight end Buck Ortega, and he has a 1st down to the Raider 28-yard line.
Harrington's pass complete to number 86, Buck Ortega.
But once again, just not enough pressure on the quarterback. He's able to pick and choose his receivers. They're given enough time to get down the field and find an open spot. And that's exactly what Buck Ortega did, and Harrington found him.
Ortega jogs off the field, actually limping a bit after making that catch. Martinez Miller has come in. Martrez Miller has come in. Milner has come in as a new tight end, number 85. Joey Harrington on the handoff there to Herb Donaldson. His first carry of the game, a rookie free agent back out of Western Illinois. There's Charlie Fry talking to Paul Hackett. Bruce Gradkowski, they both played well this preseason. See how many quarterbacks the Raiders take on their 53-man roster. It's very unusual to take 4. Second and 9. Harrington handoff. Donaldson hit from behind and dropped by David Nixon. Nice play there by Nixon. Rookie free agent linebacker out of BYU, was played extremely well up in Napa. He's going to be one of those guys that be a tough call whether he makes the 53-man roster. He came slanting down there from his weak side linebacker spot.
Yeah, good call by the defense, putting pressure on either Harrington if he was going to go back to pass, or on the rushing game, which happened to be the case this time. And Nixon made a real fine tackle from behind.
He had a nice career at BYU, second-team All-Mountain West Conference a year ago. Smart guy, 3-time All-Academic. Harrington, a screen out to Donaldson, gets a block. First down inside the 20. Sam Williams will drop him on the Raider 13-yard line. Herb Donaldson there on the screen from Joey Harrington.
One of the things that seems to me, and it's happened all game long, no matter who the quarterback is, they're just keeping the Raider defense off balance. Screens, runs, play action. The Raiders don't know what's coming up next.
Michael Hawkins is making his Raider debut now, wearing number 36, a defensive back. Donaldson on the carry off the left side down to the 10-yard line. Raiders have been bringing in a number of new defenders in camp. There's Michael Hawkins. Actually played in the Arena League for the Dallas Desperados before going to the Packers in 05. He was a Cleveland Brown in 06. Was in Tampa's camp this year. And actually, Tom played against the Raiders as a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, he was here a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, sure was on the roster.
Raiders also signed Napoleon Harris this week, former #1 draft pick of the Raiders a few years ago, but they released him this morning. Here's the handoff to Donaldson coming right. Board trying to step in and strip it. Couldn't do it, but he is dropped for nothing on that carry. May have even lost some yards. Lost 2 yards. Moreland Greenwood, also a new Raider signing. Veteran got in at strong side linebacker. He's played well. And Ryan Boschetti also got in to make the tackle. Now the Raiders have brought in some players since camp has opened on the defensive side. Joe Cohen also has been brought in this week. Former high draft pick of the 49ers out of Florida. Tore his ACL that rookie preseason and is trying to find his way back in the league. He's in there, number 68. Harrington throws a little too high, trying to hit Matt Simon, rookie free agent wide receiver out of Northern Illinois. Joey a little high there.
Well, the key now, or the question now, are they going to go for a field goal or just go for the touchdown on 4th down? And from this vantage point, it looks like they're going for the play, for the touchdown, or the first down.
And they're going to an empty set, Coach. They've got 3 on the line. 2 are right, 3 are left. Raiders going to rush 4. Harrington lobs for the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown by Skylar Green. Former LSU Tiger. Nice throw there by Joey Harrington. He lobbed that ball right over the coverage there of Jerome Boyd. Beautiful ball there by Joey Harrington, Plunk.
Right on the money. Nice corner route. Executed extremely well, and that's what you're supposed to do down there. Find the one-on-one and get him the ball.
13-play drive engineered by Joey Harrington. They go 78 yards and 6:24 off the clock. Carney will not try the kick. It'll be Garrett Hartley who will be out for the first 4 games, as we recall. So it'll be Carney, their kicker, on opening day. 45-0 New Orleans. 8:25 to play in the game on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. At RMAC.com. Saints 487 yards of total offense. The Raiders 196. Saints have had the ball for 34 minutes. The Raiders just 17. Let's see if they can get something going today. Down 45-0. Hartley to kick off again. Nick Miller's back for the Raiders. Miller being pushed to his right. Will take it on the numbers. 10, 15, 20. Gets through. 25, 30. And he's jumped on by Roby. What a tackle there by Courtney Roby, the wide receiver. He got airborne and just jumped on him. 33-yard return by Miller. Good drive start for the Raiders. Garcia comes back at quarterback when we come back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. All right, Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett, 8:18 to play in the final home preseason game. Raiders certainly want to have a better taste in their mouths as they leave here to get ready for the opener than this. Let's see if they can muster something before the afternoon is over. Javon Walker is in. He is out wide left. The Saints almost jumped off sides, but nobody came. Garcia hands off to Gary Russell. Russell off the left side, breaks a tackle, comes forward, and that's a nice run there by Gary Russell. That's a 9-yard pickup, the Raiders' longest run of the afternoon as we check in with JT the Brick on the field. JT.
Thank you, Greg. I got the one thing that every Raider fan needs today. There's only one thing. The new Raiderette calendar. It is absolutely unbelievable. Check this out. You can get it at Raiders.com or any of the 16 Raider Image locations. If you're going to get up and go to work every day, why not look at the football's fabulous females just back from Hawaii? It's the 2010 Raiderette calendar. Go to Raiders.com or any Raider Image store near you. Greg, this makes you feel good.
Great timing, JT. Exactly what I needed. Here's Russell off left tackle across the 45, and he bangs down to the 44-yard line. Nice run there by Gary Russell. Football's fabulous females. They do a great job. They work hard.
They do, and I know this is, this is not a very good game for the Raiders this afternoon, but it's still just a preseason game. And, I'm sure everybody's looking forward to the start of the regular season after that last preseason game in Seattle. And, they're going to put they're going to field a better football team than you saw today.
Jeff Garcia, Jim, will play action to Russell. Now going to throw a screen. Probably was Rankin who was in, and we play action to, and then Rankin is spilled. Now, you don't want to lose 45-0 ever. Not. But if you're going to do it, you'd rather have it be in August than September. Tom, can anything good come of this where, and I realize the last 6 years have not been good, but they've had a good camp. They beat the Cowboys here decidedly. They really could have beaten Dallas, the Niners last week. Their ones outplayed their ones. The twos outplayed the twos. They led 14-3 after 3. Could this be a severe wake-up call that, yes, we're on the right path, but we got a lot of work yet to do. We're not that good yet.
Well, you're right. You have to use it as a positive. The fact that they played as well in the first few games, and, there's a nice
catch by Jonathan Holland. He flips a tackle. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. He got out of the, hold on here. What do you got, John Kerry?
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Touchdown.
Number 66, defense. Result of the play, the touchdown. The penalty will be enforced on a kickoff.
Yeah, Jonathan Holland got out of the tackle there at Danny Gorer, guys, and took it down the sideline, 43 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, and a nice throw by Jeff Garcia because he was going to get whacked right as he threw, and he threw for a spot, and the ball was thrown perfectly. A nice job by Holland just coming back, catching the ball, and then breaking the tackle.
And you make a good point, Tom. Jeff was under a lot of duress, and he anticipated where Holland was going to be, got the ball there, and then Holland did the rest by taking it in the end zone.
But getting back to your other point, Greg, this game is not the whole preseason nor the whole training camp because they've had an excellent training camp. They played very well in the first 2 games of the preseason. This is not the whole preseason, so don't take it as such, but it is a wake-up call. Yes.
Holland is in at last, gets off the tackle of Gore and goes in. Touchdown Raiders, down 45-7 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. The yard drive, that was after the nice kickoff return by Nick Miller, the 33-yard return. And they go quickly, 4-play, 60 yards, and most of it was on the Jonathan Holland catch and break of a tackle and run, 43-yarder, and the Raiders are in the end zone. Raiders are very deep at wide receiver. Javon Walker coming back to join Darius Hayward-Bay and Lewis Murphy and Johnny Lee Higgins, Todd Watkins, and look at Chaz Schillen's back after maybe just the first game of the year, but They do like Jonathan Holland. Here's the kickoff by Janikowski from the 45-yard line. That was assessed on the touchdown. Roby out across the 20, and he is dropped on the 22-yard line. Tackle made by Luke Lawton, the Raider fullback. The Oakland Raiders getting ready for their 5th decade. They've played football for 50 years, this will be. The team of the decades. The only teams to be in Super Bowls in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 2000 went after the 2002 year. They've won more games than any of the 8 original AFL teams. Only AFC team, one of 2 in the NFL to play in championship games in each of the last 5 decades. And they are the last AFC West team to go to the Super Bowl. 18 players and owners and people close to the organization in the Hall of Fame. 18 people. Should be 19. Plunk should be in. Should be 20. Tom Flores should be in. Cliff Branch should make it 21. Here's P.J. Hill swerving. Breaking tackles of Derek Brown down the sideline. Ray Guy. Who else, guys? We're 22. Tim Brown may go in next year. And Jerry Rice certainly will go in next year. Nice little bop there by P.J. Hill to find some openings. 24-yard run. 50 years of Raider football, and Tom Flores has been here for almost all of it. With the exception of a little time in Buffalo and Kansas City and Seattle.
Yep, I refuse to leave.
Even when they ask you to leave, you still hang around, huh?
Yeah, that's right. You can't get rid of me.
Well, it's going to be an exciting year as we look back on the great history of this franchise and also the present and the future.
Got a great schedule. I mean, a great schedule. When you play, there's my buddy Jim, the old center that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
we watch here.
He's still hot.
Watch the monitor on TV. Yeah.
He's still hot, Coach. David Nixon, nice tackle as he throws P.J. Hill down. Look at Jim up there. Down 45-7. He's still working a lather trying to get some pride in the trenches.
Yeah, Jim was one of those guys that it never was over. Never was over till it was over, Blaine. Sometimes we had to tell him it was over.
Well, he played every single game, never missed a game in his career. He tells a great story that the reason he did that, when Al Davis first joined the Raiders as head coach, he told him that when we were in San Diego, we knew if we could just get you out of the game, we'd had a chance to beat these guys. So you can never leave the game. You can't leave a practice. You can never leave. And he hardly ever missed a play and certainly never missed a game. The indestructible. Throw out to Hill, broken up by Michael Hawkins. What a pop there by one of the new Raiders. Michael Hawkins stepping up. What a hit that was.
Now, he was out of football, you said, for 2 years, huh?
Yeah, did not play an NFL game the last 2 years. He was a Packer in 05 and a Brown in 06. He's been anxious to hit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Hill is very thankful to Harrington for throwing that pass.
Yeah, thank you, Joey.
Thanks a lot, Joey. Yeah.
Michael Hawkins from the Arena League out of the Dallas Desperados roster. Speaking of the other AFL, we have lost the Indoor League. Isn't that a shame? 3.5 to play. Whistles come in before they long snap on the punt. Don Carey, what do you got?
Delay a game.
Delay a game on New Orleans, huh?
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Yeah, they were 1 man short. They had one of their gunners was not on the field, so they had to wait for him to get lined up. By the time he got lined up, it was too late.
Don doesn't look much like his brother, Mike Carey. Wouldn't know they were brothers if I didn't know they were brothers. Nick Miller will step up on the 20-yard line. They got him swarmed. 3 guys, and he'll be dropped on the 25-yard line. 37-yard punt
return
there by the rookie Morstead, and a 5-yard return by Nick Miller. So the Raiders have broken training camp. They did that this week. Their last practice in Napa was Thursday morning, so they are back now at their year-round facility in Alameda. Guys will get tonight off, tomorrow I'm sure. Then they go back to work on Monday, guys, and it's a short week. They got to get ready to play a game again. On Thursday, we'll be with you from Quest Field on Thursday night from the Emerald City of Seattle. It'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Eric Piers is checked in to play on the offensive line here. A guy worth watching. Former Denver Bronco. Made 26 starts for them in 3 years. 1st and 10, Raiders on the 27. Russell. Gonna cut back, come left. Good run, 30, 35, 40 down the sideline. Puts the ball in the outside arm as he crosses midfield. Beautifully done by Russell. Out on the safe 47-yard line. A 26-yard run by the former Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, did a very nice job of cutting back. That design, it was a cutback type of play, but he cut back all the way around the left side of the entire offensive line and showed a little speed. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Gary Russell with what could be our Golden Gate Fields run of the game. Be sure to catch Rich Wolkoff on radio for a complete replay of today's highlights when he selects this week's Golden Gate Fields run of the game. That could be it. Garcia trying to go to Myers, I think, but the ball came out awkwardly. Was that tipped as he threw it, or he just lost it?
I'm going to ask Jim. That's one of those balls where you try to change in midstream and hold on to it.
And you wind up throwing between two receivers instead of throwing to any one in particular. But sometimes it just slips out as you're trying to make up your mind, and that looks like the case here.
Yep. Now he was, as we watched the replay, he was trying to bring that thing back in. He didn't want to really throw it where it was going, where he intended to throw it.
2nd and 10 for Garcia. See if the Raiders can get it in one more time here on his watch. They have a slot formation right. Nick Miller's the slot guy. Flag goes down. High throw for Miller, incomplete. A flag went down right at the snap of the football.
Going to be on the offense, I believe, Greg. I think they were an illegal formation again. They've done that happens a lot in preseason.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 69 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And you know what still surprises me, though? The Saints came on an all-out blitz, still trying to put pressure on the quarterback. When Coach Flores was playing, when I was playing, especially at least early on in my career, you had kind of an unwritten rule that you agreed to not, do all kinds of complicated blitzes, if any blitzes at all, during a preseason game.
Yeah, we had simple blitzes. That's all. It was a gentleman's rule. Not anymore.
There's Garcia flushed out to his left. Now going to turn back the other way, being chased back by Rod Coleman, the former Raider. Throws it up, caught by Nick Miller. What a play that was by Garcia. Looked like Bob Greasy in the Super Bowl from years ago. He actually got a yard out of that.
No, he lost a yard.
He lost a yard out of that. But he was going to lose like 30 as he got his shoulders turned around. Rod Coleman, remember Rod, the former Raider, who actually led the Raiders in sacks the year they went to the Super Bowl. At 11, he got some heat there from his D tackle spot and twisted Garcia away. So 3rd down and 16 for the Raiders on their own 47-yard line. 2:53 to play. Garcia's in the gun, slot left. Miller inside of Todd Watkins. There's a blitz off the edge. Randall Gay gets in. He pops Garcia, dropped by Myers, thrown behind him. Randall Gay came on a blitz. Chris Reese also there. Well, Greg Williams, he's part of the new breed. This defensive coordinator in New Orleans, he is heating up the quarterbacks. A lot of safety blitzes, corner blitzes today in a preseason game.
Actually looked like a high right arm against Garcia's head that time. It was a little unfair, I thought.
But you're going to go, if you have 4th down and what do you have, 16 yards to go, you might as well come, well, they're not going to do it now, but go with a blitz and throw a hot route. You're not going to pick up 14 yards unless you miss a tackle.
Saints will rush 4. Garcia steps up, throws short, catch made by Gary Russell, 45, and he's dropped. He is hit down on the New Orleans 45-yard line. The Raiders will give it up on downs there. That was Jonathan Casillas who made the tackle, the linebacker wearing number 62, the rookie free agent of Wisconsin. So Russell gave it a good effort, but Casillas was there to drop him, and the Saints will take over with 2:41 to play. Who was it? Buddy Ryan, I think, is the guy that started the blitz in the preseason, wasn't it?
I'm
With
not
his
sure.
Bears defense in the mid-'80s.
I think it was before that, but.
Yeah, you do every once in a while you'd run up against a guy and then he said, well, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to do that. When you look at them cross-eyed
Some
afterwards.
teams, that's just who they are, though. If they're going to be a blitzing defense, don't you have to blitz in the preseason to get ready to blitz?
Well, you do, but you have to realize years ago we used to have 6 preseason games. So, the first 2 or 3 you didn't do it. Now the last 2 or maybe a couple you let everything hang out. You didn't hold back on anything. But nowadays, they come in blitzing, and you have all these off-season camps, so you work on the blitzes and go from there.
1st and 10 Saints on their own 45. Harrington hands off. Donaldson coming off left tackle. Good run to midfield. First down into Raider territory across the 45 and down to the Raider 44-yard line. David Dixon has played well. This young linebacker, the rookie free agent from BYU, made the tackle. There's Moreland Greenwood, the veteran. Former Syracuse Orangeman, 4-year Miami Dolphin, 4-year Houston Texan. The Raiders signed him a week or so ago. Nixon's a good-looking player. Chris O'Neal is also in for the first time, wearing number 42. The Raiders re-signed him today. Went to Miramonte High School in Orinda. There's Donaldson. John Bowie sticks him. He comes off of that, finally dropped on the Raider 37-yard line as we hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. Saints 45, Raiders 7. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
All of the owners that I played with in professional sports, he has to be the nicest, most kindest, caring boss I've ever had. For a long time, he would call every Christmas to check on me and my wife. Mr. Davis is the person that'll tell it like it is.
And he certainly knows the great talent of one Vincent Edward Jackson. Bo, who knew how to run with a football, among other things. Herb Donaldson sweeping wide left, gets stacked up and dropped for a loss. Raiders are going to be in Seattle on Thursday night. Not the Kingdome, where Bo on a Monday night, November of '87, had one for the ages. What was better, the run down the sideline where he ran like all the way through the tunnel all the way to Walla Walla, or the play where he ran over the Boz on the goal line?
Well, I think most people remember that one. They like that one because Brian Bosworth was not well liked around the league, so everybody remembers that one. But Bo would have run over anybody that night.
Well, he was on fire. And we are on the NFL Network today. We do want to welcome the audience around the country on the NFL Network. And I remember them replaying that game when the Raiders Seattle game last year, and I watched that whole game back, and Bo had a huge game. Marcus Allen also had almost 100 yards that night. And the way you played the two of the backs together, Tom, it was not an eye, not an offset eye. You played the old split backs, the old pro set formation.
It was a lot of fun. It was fun, and I always thought, because we got Bo late after baseball was over, I always thought, wouldn't it be great to have them day one in training camp and all the things you could do with our offense and the people that we had and their talent.
Straight ahead it goes to P.J. Hill. Well, the final seconds are ticking down on this one. The Raiders will fall to 1-2 in the preseason. Grayson Gunheim in on that play here. So back to work, boys, and it's a short week. Again, the Raiders will have to play on Thursday. And some big evaluations on what happened today among the starters, to be sure, Jim, but also to get down to 53. Got to get down to 75 this Tuesday, but then 53 next Saturday, a week from the day after they play in Seattle on Thursday.
And there's not a whole lot more time to evaluate these players. You know, you've got this game, then, you know, next Thursday's game with little preparation, and it's going to be difficult, but I'm sure for the most part their minds are made up. There may be some marginal players that they intend to keep after maybe even next week's showing, but you know, decisions have to be made and they have to move forward.
Nobody expected Bill Belichick to shed any